Well, hello there, and welcome back in to another episode of DCU Daily. We are back, as always. We're going to start things off with the news. So, if you guys are new to the show, here's how things are going to go today. We're going to start with the news, then we're going to get into the quick hits. As always, then we'll dive into DC. We're going to get it started with DC news. Then, of course, one of the stories that we have to focus on today is The Authority is supposedly getting reworked as a movie over at DC Studios. So, is that really true? Is it just a
No.
rumor? John already kind of told you what he thinks, but we will talk about it in a bit more detail. But before we do, of course, like I said, we always start the show off with the news, everything that's going on in the world of Hollywood. So let's do that with the news, and we usually do that with the news intro. So let's hit that intro.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chords.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, look, I'm back. My name is Daniel, and of course, I'm not here by myself today. I've got John with me. As always, John, how are you doing today?
Hello. Doing good. Today was a very sleepy day. Hi. Jose is asking for some beard stroking. So, Dan, put on the music, please. There we go. Yeah. Let's just enrapture our audience with this beard stroking ASMR. There we go. The dulcet tones of beard stroking. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's go. In the words of Eric Andre, I'm a sex symbol. Anyway, let's continue before we get demonetized.
Too late for that, John. But anyway, let's we got people coming in the door. We got Manos in the chat now. Jose, of course, is here. Caleb and Enterprise.
Jose is calling you Lieutenant Dan Ice Cream.
Ice cream. Oh man, again with the ice cream. Now I'm gonna need to have ice cream before I go to bed. There we go.
That's not healthy.
Dude, just never mind. I'm not gonna go down there. We talked about
I'm
chocolate the other day.
I'm the last person.
I'm just
the
saying.
last person to talk about healthy, but I also recognize don't do that.
Fair enough. Manos Time saying John Roca, Jeff Snyder, Grace Randolph all said the Superman trailer is better than Fantastic Four. I'm surprised. Look, it hits everyone differently. I think for me, having seen it a few times, having seen both trailers a few times, I do believe the Superman trailer is superior. But that's probably because the one thing I realized was the two trailers are not trying to do the same thing. So you can't
they're two
really
different things.
It's like it's apples to oranges in the sense that yes, there are two trailers,
of movies coming out in July, but
it's like one trailer is trying to, you could clearly tell, reestablish Superman as the Superman we all love. Like this is the original superhero, and Fantastic Four just feels much more like a character.
It's part of, even though it's its own universe, it's still part of a larger universe, so they're fitting it into that aspect.
But at the same time, it feels more internal. Like like the conflict seemed like it's more about the family aspect of it than with Superman, where it's like, the symbol, the iconography of the character is at center. So with that in mind, we have to dive into, of course, the first story of the day in the news, which is the Fantastic Four: The First Steps, or the Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm never gonna get that right. The Fantastic Four First Steps. Why do you gotta put the "the" in there anyway? The trailer for the movie flew to a phenomenal 200 million plus views in just the first day. In the first 24 hours, John, this now puts it right behind Deadpool and Wolverine for one of the biggest trailer launches of all time, and certainly one of the biggest trailer launches for Marvel, of course, but in general, all of Hollywood, one of the biggest trailer launches of all time. It's not quite, hit the Avengers Endgame level. We will get into how it compares to Superman in a little bit, but are you surprised that the trailer is doing as good as it is so far?
It's not a surprise. I mean, this has been built up for a while. It's got a lot of big stars attached. There was a lot of hyping from Marvel, and it is Marvel's first family, so there is that aspect as well. And I think that we are gonna get something at least pretty good with this. Like, I don't have a ton of high hopes for this, and we only have one trailer to go off of, but what they do have is pretty good. I didn't expect a ton, but it's pretty good. I'm probably gonna go see it. Maybe not opening day, but like I'll go see it. But yeah, I mean, this is like the first Fox edition we've seen in the MCU.
The first former Fox,
yeah,
set of characters to get officially added to the MCU. I mean, the other thing is also,
I mean, unless you count Deadpool and Wolverine, but like,
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of. I don't really count Deadpool and Wolverine because Deadpool is like so separate, even from the Fox universe. It was so separate from everything.
I still don't know how much of that movie, like how much of those characters, how many of those characters, how much of that movie is MCU canon, in the sense that Marvel has been playing it loose for so long. It's hard to believe that most of the characters introduced in Phase 4 are going to return to the MCU. No less the ones that actually are coming from a different universe are going to be included. It's like it's hard to tell it belongs where right now. And I think the upcoming Avengers movies are meant to answer that question. But as far as the Fantastic Four goes, they clearly exist in a world of their own. It's a world that is separate from the main timeline of the MCU, which they did that so that they can give the movie much more creative freedom. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to tie into the larger story eventually. We're going to probably see the Fantastic Four in both Avengers movies, at least the Secret Wars, but maybe also Doomsday. We don't know where RDJ's Doomsday comes from, if it's from the universe of the Fantastic Four that we're going to see, or a different one. The fact that they're calling it First Steps, but in the trailer they're already sort of, there with their powers. So it's not going to be a true origin story. I don't know how much we're going to get to see them, getting their powers. Maybe they already have them at the beginning of the movie, but if it's their first steps, does that mean this is their first step into a new era? Like, what? Thematically, we don't quite know a ton about the movie beyond the fact that, they're the four characters. This is what they look like. These are their powers. We didn't even get to see Mr. Fantastic's stretchy powers. So I'm like, the trailer didn't really give us a ton. It was a 90-second teaser trailer, so I have a feeling we're going to get a much bigger trailer coming up, probably at the Super Bowl or sometime after that. So having said that, let me kind of scroll down the article a little bit, because here they kind of give you a little more information. Of course, in the first 24 hours, it has flown to 202 million views. And that's across all platforms. So it does mark, again, one of the biggest, liftoffs, all the puns on these websites, for a Marvel Studios title in recent memory, behind the record-shattering Deadpool and Wolverine. So yes, I mean, it's one of the biggest ones. I think it's outside of the Avengers, it is the second biggest, Deadpool and Wolverine being the only ones that kind of, outdid it, I suppose would be one way to put it. John, just kind of having sat on this trailer now for a day or a couple of days, right? What do you think about the trailer so far? Like, is this a trailer that really impressed you, or is this one that you'd like to have back?
Like, what do you mean have back? Like, sorry, I'm just like,
I should have. Let me restate that. Is this a trailer that impressed you, or is this one where you would probably, it felt like they left a lot on the table? Like, you should have gotten a lot more from this first trailer than we actually did.
I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten more with like the editing, not necessarily the footage. It just felt a little bit too mundane. Maybe that was the point. They're not trying to outclass Superman or whatever, because Superman's like this big thing. But like, I feel like when you have Galactus as your main villain, you're reestablishing this team in this continuity, even though it's a different universe. I think you should have given us like the slightest bit more. But despite this, again, I still liked the trailer. I thought it was good. It just like, it felt like something was missing. It felt like something was like, this should have been better. Sorry. And it just like, it didn't give us something. I'm not saying like, oh, they should have spoiled the entire movie. I'm glad we didn't get like a ton of stuff with this trailer, because like, I don't want the entire movie ruined. But at the same time, it could have used a little more oomph. But yeah, I think overall it's still, I still think it gave us something to look forward to. I'm still, relatively, I wouldn't want to say excited. Like both, I'm reserved on. Like there's the possibility it could suck, but I am more of a DC fan. I'm more excited for that, so that's obviously going to be at the forefront of my mind. I know I hate to be biased, but it's just like I've been scorned by Marvel too much. Yeah, I'm enjoying this newest Spider-Man show for right now, which we'll get into later, but I feel like this is something, as we've said many times before, like they need to really get right. They need to really, really get it right. So hopefully they do. Fourth continuity, fifth movie. So I guess you could say fourth time is the charm, because we got, the Corman version, the story version, and the Trank version. So this is the fourth live action iteration, technically. So yeah, I would agree with that, Caleb. It looks good. Superman looks fantastic. Like I know everyone's, and we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, it just like, I know everyone lost their fucking mind over the CGI, when it's just like, both movies still have another 5 months to work on 5 months and 5 days for Superman, and 5 months and a couple weeks for Fantastic Four. Well, Fantastic Four has a lot more, because they've only been, I don't know, I forget when they stopped filming, but Superman has been, doing this for a while. So maybe there's like, oh, it should have had more, it should have had more, like it should have had better effects, where it's like, maybe, you know I remember, Dan, you were saying there's like alternate takes that maybe they use for the trailer, but they don't use in the final movie. Maybe it gets cut. Maybe they see the fan backlash and like, okay, maybe we don't need that shot, and they cut it. There's quite a few trailers where it's like, oh, we saw it in the trailer, but we didn't end up seeing it in the movie. Usually it's not like anything too bad. It's usually an alternate take, or it's just like a quick like second unit shot, unlike like Morbius, where they like essentially, where it looked like they changed half the fucking movie, where it was like, oh, because they didn't know what continuity this was going to be in, so they're like, all right, let's try to make this work, and they're gonna do that. So I think it's like, whatever they decide to do with like the TV spot in the trailer, they see the backlash, they see, maybe they'll stick to their guns, pun intended. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll cut it. But obviously, we'll have to see. But yeah, I honestly, like, it's so weird to me that it's like people lost their collective minds over his eye looking weird, even though it looks totally fine to me. Yet, fucking the Thing looks like a fucking turd in a dress, yet everyone's like, oh my god, it's comic accurate, it's amazing. And it's like, really? Like, it's comic accurate? That's where you're all right, okay. I mean, I'm sorry, but the thing, but here's the thing, the thing can look better. It can get better. There's another 5 months they can work on this. So hopefully the thing can get more refined and it doesn't look totally terrible. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. We've got a few new names in the chat that I don't think I've seen before. Terrence, we've got Keith in there. Keith was asking, as you can see on the screen there, about Liz. Liz usually joins us a couple of times a week, so she was with us the last couple of days. She's away for a few days, but she'll be back next week. So we'll have her on the show. Don't you worry, she'll be back. It's her work schedule just allows her to only be with us for a couple of times during the week, but we try to take advantage of whatever time she can provide us. But with that said, hello Terrence, what's up, bro? Can't wait for July. Hopefully they're both great, super fantastic. Yeah, what was it yesterday? We called it Super Jurassic. Yeah, because you got like the Jurassic World, of course.
Well, now we have another one, but we're gonna get into that soon enough.
We will. You know what? So let's keep going here because we don't just have to talk about how well this movie did. Of course, the comparison that people are gonna make and maybe already are making is the Superman trailer that came out in December. That went up to over 250 million viewers, or in just the first 24 hours. So the launch of the Superman trailer was bigger than the Fantastic Four. I believe the exact number was like a little over 250, so they didn't really tell us exactly. I think, and according to some sources, it was like 256 or so, but over 250 for the James Gunn Superman trailer, and then of course we got over 200 million for the Fantastic Four trailer, 202 million more specifically. So the Superman trailer still had a bigger launch. But when you look at the total numbers, here's the chart. Now, this chart does not currently include Fantastic Four because, I mean, even if it did, you'd have to add another spot below Deadpool and Wolverine because it didn't crack the top 5 quite. But when you look at the chart again, 355 or almost 356, 355.5 million from the Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer. Then we got Avengers Endgame teaser trailer, which came out to 289 million, and then 268 for the full official trailer for Avengers Endgame. So 2 trailers from that movie combined for over 500, almost 600 million views. And then the Superman teaser, of course, we talked about just now, 250, over 250, but they didn't give us the number beyond 250, so that's what we go with officially. And then the 242 is the number, the 242 million for the teaser trailer of the Deadpool and Wolverine that came out last year. So Fantastic Four comes in just under that at the 6th spot, I believe, with 202. So it's in the top 10. It's doing really well. I mean, it's one of the biggest launches they've had in a while, of course. One of the biggest because the biggest launch they've had since Avengers Endgame was Deadpool and Wolverine. So yeah, good for Marvel. Of course, No Way Home came out after Endgame, so Marvel has done well for itself over the last few years, obviously. But Fantastic Four is only the next one in line for that. But it's good to know that Superman is still doing really well and playing good with the big boys over at Marvel. Not to mention, hey, DC's got some big hitters of their own, including Superman, and so he belongs in the upper echelon where he is now. And we'll see how much the full official trailer of Superman's gonna do. Now, you mentioned, John, earlier that they didn't really even show us anything of Mr. Fantastic's powers. So in this Screen Rant article today, they kind of pointed out that maybe the reason why we didn't really see Reed Richards, stretch his arm and give us a thumbs up or wrap himself around a villain or something like that is because those effects are still not complete. You were talking about this earlier, John, that there's probably a lot of unfinished VFX in the movie. So the elasticity effect is one of the ones that it's kind of harder to make, look photoreal. I feel like they did a good job with them in those, the Jessica Alba, Ian Gruffudd, and like all, the Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis Fantastic Four movies from the 2000s. I was usually watching a sequence where it was like a night sequence where they're all taking on Doctor Doom as a team. And the Mr. Fantastic effects aren't bad. I don't think they were terribly bad. I mean, with the CGI today, you should be able to pull it off. But given, like you said, John, there's still 4 months, over 4 months, almost 5 months before these movies come out.
Right.
They probably are, going to use that time to continue to work on these effects. So why showcase that here. Plus, also when you look at the Fantastic Four trailer, a lot of the shots that they're showing, yes, they're pretty fantastical, pardon the pun, but like we have seen Hulk running in Marvel movies for like a decade now. So the Thing running in what looked like a New York City street isn't quite fantastical enough for us. Invisible Woman doing her thing with like her powers is very similar to like half the other MCU heroes. But we have seen Doctor Strange, make magical circles with his fingers and stuff for a long time. So everything they showed, and of course the Human Torch. We just saw that last year in Deadpool and Wolverine, where Chris Evans took on the role again. So the one character that they did not show, where it would be a little out there, a little too fantastical, maybe, was Mr. Fantastic. So maybe they made the choice because it was, a little too over the top for a trailer that was otherwise pretty muted and more down to earth, more grounded, even though it showed Galactus and stuff. Either that, or it's because they have unfinished VFX they don't want to showcase just yet, and then create even more controversy among the fans. John, do you think is both of those reasons, or do you think one of them maybe is true, the other one isn't so much?
Yeah, I think it's just like it's not finished, and the elastic stuff is definitely hard because it's like, at least with the Thing and maybe even Silver Surfer and stuff like that, it's just motion capture. I feel like it's easier to, like, with the dots. Hell, they don't even need tracking dots anymore with how technology has gone so far. They could just like, but I remember they still used like the practical like helmet that like kind of like the one Josh Brolin wore, like where he had the giant fucking Thanos head, so they know where to look. So they had that on set. Maybe. But so they had that on set because the practical, like, where to look for the character is very helpful
Right.
for actors. So they had that, and that also helps to know what the character looks like on, like, in a CGI sense. So it's like, it's essentially Ebon Moss-Bachrach in a motion capture suit. They put the CGI on him. I feel like with Pedro Pascal, I feel like the elastic thing is like there's more to it because you're like winding and like there's stretching, and you have to make it look real without making it look like a Stretch Armstrong or something. So you got to like make that work. So I feel like there's more to do to make Mr. Fantastic work properly than what has been, like, what is done with the Thing and other characters like that. So yeah, I'm willing to bet that those aren't done yet, and they don't want to blow their load early. They are. I mean, they have to show the Thing. Like, that's such a, and I assume that was like one of the first things they did because like he's such a major character and he's like that throughout the entire film. So that's definitely helpful. That the way that the Thing is positioned and all that, I feel like, yeah, they can get away with that. I don't think they can get away with Mr. Fantastic looking like that. So they have to really work on that, especially like that was one of the biggest criticisms of like Miss Marvel and the Marvels, where her powers, which are elasticity powers, apparently,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how it actually looks. Apparently her elastic powers were really bad in that movie, despite it costing,
but they were
like,
also really toned down. I don't really feel like they lean into those powers as much.
that's
as
just what I heard from
all the
people.
other
I
things.
don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't personally
Yeah.
judge. But yeah, that's just what I heard. But whatever the case is, I think like that's a good thing. Don't blow everything early. Like, I think, that's why I'm like kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place of like, they should have shown us more, but they also shouldn't have. I'm glad that they didn't show a lot, but at the same time, I wish they could have done something to make it feel like more of an event. Because I feel like with something like the Fantastic Four, this is something they continually have gotten wrong, and they need to get this right in order to make this work. So I'm like kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because I'm stuck between like, don't show us everything, do like the No Way Home thing, don't show us like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, even though, but at the same time, like, I feel like it could have been edited a little bit better, maybe shown other footage to show and all
Yeah.
that. I'm kind of in Gunn we trust, but at the same time, he's made a lot of questionable decisions. I think his wife needs to take his phone away. I think he needs to calm down a bit. I'm not gonna say like, oh yeah, he's done every great decision ever. I agree with everything he's ever said and done. I don't agree with everything he's done, but I feel like the man has enough prowess in the superhero filmmaking industry that the man has had 4 bangers out of, oh, some people like Super, some people don't, but that doesn't really count. I'm talking about his mainline stuff. But I mean, if hell, we can throw Creature Commandos in there because a lot of people seem to like that. So that's technically 5 for 5, even though
Mhm.
it's more on the James Gunn brand of humor. So there is a little bit of like a discrepancy there because Superman, he said, is going to be very different, very out of his wheelhouse. So, you know, 0. Well, yeah, if we're not counting the Roger Corman.
The OG, yeah,
Well, unless you're counting what I counted as the continuities and not the actual films. But anyway, but yeah, I think I don't love everything he's ever done, but I'm like, let's see. I think like he's clearly like has respect for the character, has respect for the history, wants to do his own thing. He's not just doing like a checklist of like what people want to see. He's still doing his own vision, and he's not just like, I'm gonna make a complete opposite thing to Zack Snyder's version. He said, "Oh, there's gonna be darker moments. I was inspired by his version to create something of my own," and that's pretty good. So I'm just intrigued to see his iteration of the character and how he will do it. So that's essentially
yeah.
that.
That's fair. I mean, is my internet really bad right now? I've been told that
A little
the
chunky, a little
a
chunky.
little chunky. Can you guys still hear me clearly? Like, I don't know what's going on with the internet here. Maybe I'll take a look at it, see what's up. But no, I have a question. I actually created a poll. Let me know what you guys think about this, and maybe John, what do you think about this? Because I don't know if you actually got around to talking about it the other day. Since the trailer is out
You
now,
are
do you?
barely coming in, sir. Like you're
Oh,
very like you're like on a full delay and you're like really chunky. So I would say try to reboot. But yeah, so I'll go through some comments. So some people are saying Ron so what's based on the trailer, will Fantastic Four make $1 billion? So Ron is saying that's kind of a dumb question you put on the poll. The true success of Fantastic Four will come when the movie is out. That teaser trailer is not enough to make that kind of prediction. That's fair. I can kind of see that. But Dovey, I don't think we've seen you before. Hello, and also nice PFP. They're saying Fantastic Four was never a hit for anyone. Even Man of Steel, which had mixed reviews, was decent-ish. Nico, the Fantastic Four trailer is made at best. It looked lazy, old, flat, boring, and unappealing for an MCU movie. I mean, that's what most MCU movies kind of look like nowadays. Um, yeah, I can, you know, I think, yeah, Dovey's talking about how it was perceived more that we hear you fine. You just, yeah, he's lagging, so he'll come back in a second. Manos time. James Gunn gave me Scooby Doo, Rocket, Peacemaker, and G.I. Robot. I'm trusting Gunn until he stops giving me a reason to. And 4, now he didn't. Oh, and Jose is asking a question. Do you think the Lady Silver Surfer dies when Galactus eats the universe? Then we get what's his face in the main MCU timeline? I don't know. I think they're just like, I think what they're trying to say is, oh, they're they're like, okay, we've technically seen the Silver Surfer, the OG Silver Surfer before. Let's try something different. I want to say that's what they're doing instead of like forcing like female characters nobody gives a fuck about into stuff because that's pretty much low hanging fruit. But I want to say that okay, they're like, even though it wasn't a great movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, like they got Galactus wrong and Silver Surfer wrong and all that stuff. We technically saw the OG iteration of Silver Surfer. They're like, okay, let's try something new. Let's see how this works. Now, I don't think we're officially gonna get like the original version because I think they're just gonna stick with, you know, her. It's just so weird how they're like, doing all this stuff. It's like Galactus is like that should be the big threat. Galactus should be the big threat. I feel like they should have just had something small with like Mole Man. Galactus is like that's a universe almost multiverse spanning threat. Like you're putting all your eggs in the other Fantastic Four villain that's a big threat with Doctor Doom. You would think that Galactus would be the one that takes the cake. Because that's such a big, huge villain that I feels like the entire like hero brigade of Earth would have to like come to and like stop him. So I don't know, but that's just me. But yeah, that's I'm just trying to answer your guys' questions. It feels like Doctor Doom will be a bigger threat. No, I'm not saying he won't be a big threat. I'm just saying it's weird how it's like Galactus is going to be the villain of the Fantastic Four movie, while Doctor Doom is going to be the big, like next Thanos, which I'm not saying he isn't because Doctor Doom's a great villain, but it's just like Galactus is like literally this fucking ginormous, like literally and figuratively and metaphorically this huge villain that I feel is even bigger than Doctor Doom, but that's neither here nor there. But I think when it comes to this movie, there's it's gotten a mixed response, but do we think that Franklin Richards is in the movie? No, I don't think Franklin Richards is in the movie. I think people are taking her Vanessa Kirby's her comments out of context. I think we're going to be maybe eventually getting Franklin Richards. I don't think we're going to be getting him in the first movie though, because I feel like that's too much. I think they're just saying we're getting the familial aspect because that's what it was. That's what it was. Marvel's first family. That was the main drive, So that's kind of the main thing they're going for here. So I don't think so I don't think they're going to do. I think she just talked about being motherly. John, what if the Fantastic Four lose and to save their world, boom, multiverse explains why they become part of the MCU? That was my theory yesterday. Like it would be great if like Galactus beat them and they had to like escape to the 616 universe. But Liz did say that like, oh, that maybe is a little bit derivative of the Infinity War ending, and fans will be like, oh, that's repetitive, that's stupid. But it's like, whatever. I think that would be a cool ending. Just got done watching Invincible episodes 1 and 2. It's very good so far, albeit a few qualms. That's cool. First Step seems like a double entendre for space exploration and having a child. You know what they could do? We might not be getting actually like Franklin Richards in the movie, but we might be getting like she might be like pregnant. Like they might do that. That like the whole thing is like they're dealing with like having a family, but it's like then they're gonna actually literally start a family. So that could be something. That could definitely be something.
You don't turn your back on family.
On the baby eats Galactus instead. That's funny.
I don't know if that's any better or my connection is still terrible. I'm trying to figure this out.
You're a little laggy, but I think we can hear you a little bit better, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with my internet today. It just seems to have started acting up. But we'll see. Sorry, what did I miss?
We were just I was just going through comments because I didn't want to abandon the chat. So I was like, I was just going through a bunch of comments. A lot of people talk about the Fantastic Four, what they're expecting and whatnot. So I know Franklin Richards is like fucking huge. So they might be but if that's the case, like her being pregnant with Franklin Richards, it would be better if Annihilus was the villain, because that was like a big thing in the comics, was like Annihilus felt the presence of like Franklin Richards, I think, while she was pregnant with him. So that would have been, so it might be they might be doing that, but it's like with Galactus, maybe he reads like, oh, she's pregnant with this like Omega level fucking hero. So I don't think he's a mutant. Maybe he's does Franklin Richards count as a mutant? I don't know. So let me know. But he's powerful. He's like Omega level. So like he's up there with like Professor X and Jean Grey and Santa Claus. About like one of the big Iceman is another big one where it's like, oh my god, Omega level, huge threat. So John, do you see other heroes popping up in this movie? I've heard names like Black Panther. I've heard Magneto. No. They said specifically the T'Chaka Black Panther. No, I think they're just gonna make this their own movie, and we're not gonna have to deal with the burden of other heroes. So let's stick with that, please. But anyway,
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we got lots more news to get into, so let's keep the ball rolling here, shall we? So the next thing that we have to dive into, John, is Netflix, Max, and Prime Video. They have been negotiating with the French Film Guild for earlier access to new releases after that Disney Plus deal we talked about, I believe it was a week ago. So basically, the goal here is they all want to get access to these movies a little bit faster than the law in France allows them to. So once they're released in the theater, you don't have to, I think the rule is 18 months or something. So but Canal Plus gets a 6-month window because they've agreed to invest a lot of their revenue back into France. Disney recently announced a similar deal. Now Netflix, Max, and Prime Video are hoping to kind of put themselves in the same position, because I mean, look, once you enter France, it's like if you want to watch, for example, what's a recent movie that came out? Wicked. If you want to watch Wicked at home, you can do it in the US, but you wouldn't be able to do it in France for like another year and a half at least. It's still in movie theaters. So how do you see this, John? Do you think this is just an evolution because like Apple TV Plus, I'm sure, is going to want that too? Just trying to make sure that, there isn't that 18-month gap. But of course, the law is now coercing all these companies to basically invest a lot more money in France, in the film and television industries in France. So there's a lot more local production happening. So I think from that standpoint, this is working. I mean, how do you see this, Sean?
Could be cool. Go France, I guess. I mean, I don't have a ton of like stakes in this, but I mean, if this is beneficial for France and their movie making industry, then cool. But it's just a little, but then there's the side of me of like, oh, corporations getting their little fingers into everything is like kind of icky. But I don't know, like if it's beneficial towards their filmmaking industry, helps them get better, then maybe that's the case. But the thing is, I'm not French. I don't know a lot about how their filmmaking industry is nowadays. Like the only, I know film history a little bit. I know French New Wave. That fucking spent weeks on that in college. And fucking,
I mean, hey,
French New Wave makes me want to fucking blow my brains out. But you know what? That's as far as I know.
By the way, Manos is a good question about this. He wants to know our thoughts about Canal Plus being mad because they don't think it's fair that they pay way more than Disney, but Disney just got their window shortened. As far as I remember, the Disney window is still not as short as the one Canal Plus has. So they still have a better deal. But I think ultimately what it probably comes down to is they're expecting Disney to invest a bigger chunk of money back into the French film and movie and TV industry, because Disney franchises make more money. So therefore, I think it's probably based on the potential for what Disney will be able to deliver. It's Disney. It's much bigger. I mean, no offense to Canal Plus, which is an icon, one of the homegrown best movie making movie and TV film studios in France and across Europe for that matter. But yeah, it's Disney. I think it's predicated on the potential rather than what's maybe true at this moment in time. So, but hey, you know what? Looks like everybody's trying to get a deal, and really, this is the reason why. I mean, we didn't think about it when the law went in place, but this is probably the reason why, because they wanted all that investment back into France. So, anyway, let's move on. So, John, you are an AMC Stubs A-list member. I am an AMC
Thanks,
Stubs
Dan.
A-list member. So they just raised the price of their A-list membership. Boo, because I think it went up by like $2. It was 20. No, it went up by $1. Right?
It was $29.95. I think.
I think it was $24.95.
Oh, it was $24.95.
Now it's $25.99. So it's like $1.05. So it's not a huge increase. But guess what? For that extra $1.05, you can now go to the movie theater not just 3 times a week, but 4. So they've actually, I think, for value proposition wise, given us a pretty good deal. Actually, you know what? Hold on. There's different tiers to this. So let's get into this a little because it's also varies by state. So I'm gonna read this paragraph out real quick. Starting on May 7th, AMC Stubs A-list. So this is for anybody who lives in the US. You can get an AMC Stubs A-list. It's basically you pay a monthly flat fee, and then you get to see, used to be 3, but now 4 movies a week. So you can see as many as 16 movies in a month, and you don't have to pay for the ticket every time you go to the movie theater. And you get discounts on like your popcorn and your movie snacks, as well as obviously like the sodas and drinks that you get. And you can get like a free upgrade to the large sizes if you want a large popcorn, a large soda. That subscription now will cost $27.99 per month in New York and California, and $19.99. It used to be $19.99, and now it's going up to $25.99 elsewhere in the country. I think I was confusing the number a little bit because we have some members on our team who live out in California already. So I think they were already paying a little bit more. So, yeah, so if you're in California and New York, you're going to be paying $28. If you are anywhere else in the country, you're going to be paying $26. And then, so it depends on your state. Now, previously, the plan used to cost $24.95 for all AMC theaters and $22.95 for every location other than California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. Now, AMC is also lowering the minimum age requirement. This is the other thing. So now moviegoers who are at least 13 years or older can purchase an A-list subscription. So before you had to be at least 18. So now this is available. I mean, clearly this is meant to be, if you're a teenager and you want to go to movies with your best friends in high school, you can now have an A-list subscription. And you could do that more often. I think this is a good move because this is going to bring more people to the movie theaters and is going to now allow a lot of those younger audiences to also take advantage of the benefits, so they don't have to work off like, my dad bought me a A-list subscription, I use his. No, now you can get one for yourself, even if your parent pays for it. So of course the big thing about this is, as always has been, these 4 movies a week don't just have to be the standard format. You can see any of the premium formats, including IMAX, including the Dolby Cinema formats, like the laser projection. There's no extra charge. You're not paying for how they have like those, it's like congestion pricing in New York City. They have that at AMC too, where if you go to see a blockbuster, depending on where you're sitting in the movie theater, you might be paying more money for the seat. So it's not like the same price across the board. They started doing that last year. But if you have an A-list subscription, you don't have to worry about any of that. What do you think about all of these changes, John? Basically, what it comes down to is if you're in New York and California, you're going to pay $28 a month, $27.99. If you're anywhere else, it's going to be $25.99. It used to be $24.95. Now it's $25.99. What are your thoughts on this?
It's cool, I guess. I mean, there's some sort of like extra thing. It's like, okay, we get another movie. That's pretty cool. If we're like going by that, it's $25.99, but at least for us. So that's like essentially like $6 a movie if you're doing that. Like if you're doing the math,
that's per week.
Like that. That's per week.
That's not even per month. I mean, you do 16, divide 26 by 16. Somebody do the math for us in the chat. That's like that's not even $2 a movie, really. Like when it comes down to it. So yeah,
that's $1.63 per movie. If we're
like Jose is saying, it is such a good deal because it is. I mean, look, ultimately,
Regal Unlimited also has a really good deal because you could see like up to 5 movies a day
That's
Like,
insane. That's just
like,
insane.
like you can realistically see like 150 movies in a month, and that'll still be under your thing. It's crazy. Yeah, you got to get
Yeah.
Starry, but Sprite is Coke, Starry is Pepsi. So I don't know how that works.
That's weird.
'Cause it used to be-
Because don't they have a deal with Coke? You see Coca-Cola everywhere. Like they have that whole Coca-Cola commercial. So
Yeah, the fucking breakdancing commercial, which makes me put a nail gun to my temple.
Interesting.
I fucking hate that
Interesting.
commercial. It's like, bro, I'm not gonna be like, oh look, a Coke commercial. I forgot my drink, and I'm gonna go out when the movie is about to start to get myself a Coke. Like, how is that working? Also, weird how the couple in that commercial, why do they have a glass Coke jar cup, yet everyone else has a paper cup? Like, did they come in with that? Like, hey, can we use our glass Coke? Like, they didn't think about that. Like, come on, guys. Like, what is this?
By the way, I agree with you, Watcher. I will take Sierra Mist over both of those any day of the week. Totally. Way better. It's not, you don't taste the sugar really in every sip. So yeah.
Well, blame a TikToker for that. So it's all her fault. Like, straight up. Like, I looked into that, and I was looking into that hard too.
Dude,
to see if,
strawberry
that was
flavored
true.
Sprite. I haven't tried that very much. I prefer. I like the cranberry Sprite that you only get around Christmas time.
Gross.
Or there's cranberry flavored ginger ale. I like that too.
But yeah, there was a TikToker named Sierra Mist, and like her name was Sierra, so she refused to change the name. And then she found out that Pepsi's like license on the name like expired, and they didn't realize it, so she bought the license and to spite Pepsi, and so they had to change the name to Starry. That was literally the reason why. Now I haven't. Now it could be bullshit, but I haven't found any evidence to dispute that. So that's what I'm going with.
That is somebody must have gotten fired for that. That's one hell of a oops moment. Like, it's like, come on now, you gotta do better than that. That's like, when they were like, oh yeah, Swamp Thing, sorry, it's canceled after like the first episode aired. I'm like, oh, God. Like, at least save that till after the show finishes its first season. I have never heard of a peach flavored Pepsi, Caleb. I do not know that if you drink it, but I imagine it would taste horrible. So I don't really care for it. Anyway, moving on. I mean, look, this is a good deal. If you guys have AMC near you and that's your go-to movie theater, AMC A-List just got better. I mean, for an extra $1, basically, they're giving you like 4 more movies a month. Like, for 25 cents more a month, per movie a month. That's a good deal. I think it's worth it, especially for somebody like Liz. Dude, Liz goes and sees 4 movies a day. I'm like, I hope she gets that Regal one if she's doing it, because then, like you said, she can go see them all without having to pay anything. Like, can you imagine? You got $0 to. I mean, yeah, she's gonna spend money on snacks, but she doesn't have to spend the money on the ticket, because like 4 movies a day could easily add up to like over $100 if you're paying for every ticket nowadays. So yeah, good deal there. So let's keep the ball rolling here, shall we? This little teaser to the trailer, it's like a teaser to a teaser trailer. That's become a thing now. I mean, James Gunn's starting on new trends. So the trailer drops tomorrow. It's gonna star Rihanna, and we're gonna get ourselves a new Smurfs movie, John. And guess what? This new Smurfs movie is coming out in July. So hey, it looks like July just got a whole lot bigger, because now we have Superman, Fantastic Four, the Jurassic World Rebirth, as well as the Smurfs, man. I feel like this is the perfect moment to get that family just got bigger. Like, this is what this is the Fantastic Four welcoming on in all these other people. We got Superman, we got Jurassic World, and the Smurfs. Can we have $4 billion movies in 1 month? Is it possible, John? Is it possible? Because this comes out right smack dab between Superman and the Fantastic Four. You can go see Jurassic World Rebirth, you can go see Superman, then you can go see the Smurfs musical. It's a musical, and then you can go see the Fantastic Four First Steps. That's a stacked month of movies. We're going to be reviewing each movie as it comes out. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is good news, bad news, overhyped? I don't know how to. You tell me.
Also, by the way, apparently the Sierra Mist thing was debunked and she was just being a cloud chaser. Anyway, I mean, I wish that were true because that would be hilarious. But like, apparently they trademarked it Starry like 2 or 3 years before that happened. So yeah, that would have been funny, but oh well. But yeah, I mean, it's just like which one of these is not like the others, but like they're really looking for all the because it's like here's the thing. Jurassic World Rebirth is going to get like teens to adults. Superman is going to get like kids to like all ages. Smurfs is going to get really little kids. And the Fantastic Four First Steps is also like going to kind of get like kids, teens, and adults. So I feel like you're getting a lot of demographics here. Like Jurassic World, yeah, you can get kids with like the dinosaurs. But I feel like with how like violent the Jurassic movies are, I feel like they're gonna, they're gonna get more of like the late teen like audience, and the adults with that, and then you're gonna get like the really little kids with the Smurfs, and then you're gonna kind of get all ages with the superhero flicks. So I'm just saying you're getting a lot of people with this, but it's just like it's so funny because it's like you're getting like major IPs. Like you get like the first Superman movie in 12 years. You're getting the first Fantastic Four movie in 10 years. You're getting Jurassic World. They're semi rebooting Jurassic World, and then Smurfs.
And it just got bigger.
And then Smurfs. Smurfs.
July just got bigger. It's now gonna be Super Jurassic Earths. I don't know. Super Jurassic Earths.
Smurfer Jurassic. I don't know.
I'm trying to go in order. I'm like Super Fanjuruffs. Fanjuruffs?
I don't know.
Somebody come up with a better. What do you even call this? Like a mashup of names.
God, this is just insane. Like these guys are gonna get all the money.
It's just July's the month.
So I'm
guys.
curious now with this included because we had this question yesterday. What do you think the biggest opener is going to be? Because the Smurf movies, they made a decent amount of they made a decent chunk of change. Not a lot, but they made a good amount. I mean, they were family movies, so like they made a good amount of change. So like what like I'm not trying to be funny. Like, what do you think the highest is going to be out of all of these?
By the way, this Mahershala Ali shot looks like he's in the crowd of a WWE audience, get in right in the middle of yeeting to like Jey Uso, who just won the Royal Rumble. Is this like he's like, it's like just a freeze frame, like anyway. The Smurfs musical. Yeah, one of these is definitely not like the other. I mean, I think which one's gonna get make the most money on opening weekend? I think it's gonna be Superman, because Superman is probably still the one with like the greatest potential. And their marketing. Look, I just think James Gunn knows what he's doing. He knows how to connect with the fans. Fantastic Four has a lot of baggage of its own, despite the fact that it's part of the MCU. Like you keep saying, there's been 3 other Fantastic Four movies that have all struggled to really hit with the fans and the critics. Right. So I mean, it's gonna have to be a home run. And right now, just going off of what we've seen so far, I think Superman is the one that has generated the most amount of hype. Just look at the trailer reviews, right? Yeah. Like that's a big example.
So I did look up the Smurfs like movies that came out. So the first one made about $563 million worldwide. The next one made a little bit under $350 million worldwide, and then the last one, last one made like barely 200. Like it didn't even get 200 million. So I don't know, like if that means anything, but maybe it's something. I don't know, but I think like the Smurfs are. I think they're gonna make a decent amount of money, but like they're gonna get fucking just like Here's the thing. If Smurfs was coming out the same weekend as Jurassic World, then I could see it making money, because then like all the older people could go see Jurassic World, and then all the young people with families could go see Rebirth. It's literally sandwiched in between the two movies that are meant for all ages.
It's
you
counter
can see
programming
with the family.
It's
It
counter
makes no
programming.
fucking sense.
But it's yeah. I mean, it's to me, this is counter programming to movies that, they're all of these are 4-quadrant movies, but I think the Smurfs is the only one that's very kid friendly. So like, the kids can go see it, like you said. And if you can, I mean, really
what
young
the
kids.
fuck? Like, what the fuck would I take my kids to? Like on July 18th, Superman or the Smurfs? Like, really?
By the way, Eagle Eye, thank you for your super chat. We're gonna talk about this in a second, but we have some like name ideas coming in. Super Smurftastic 4 has Terrence. Jurassic Smurfs.
Now
is
those are
actually
the
pretty funny.
mutants that they're going to be making in Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yes, exact Jurassic Smurfs. Mr. Carter 22 is like, we rented those Smurf movies on Redbox. That's great. Redbox is still a thing. I don't know if it's
No, not anymore.
God, okay. By the way, guys, we do appreciate the super chats. Always appreciate it. And yeah, that really helps out the show. But Hosea saying the Smurfs trailer is out already, I think. John Campia talked about how it's the worst trailer of this year today, too. Is it? Am I behind on this? Whatever. You know what? We'll talk about it when we'll get into it tomorrow. But Caleb saying obviously the Smurfs are going to make the most amount of money. Whereas Nico saying Fantastic Four is really just for the fans. I mean, you can say that about all of these movies. They're all being made for the fans. So yeah, and Caleb is saying Redbox is burning in hell. So there you go. But hey, Eagle Eye left us a nice super chat. We do really, really appreciate that. And there's a comment there that I think is worth a question, really. I bet money there's a Miss Minute cameo in Fantastic Four.
Here's the thing, Dan. I'm going to just stop you right there. I'm watching the Smurfs trailer right now, and I want to wash my eyes out with bleach right now. I want to throw myself off a bridge. Like, I can't watch this. I can't watch it. I watched 30 seconds and I'm like, that's good. That's fine. And you know what they fucking did in the beginning of the trailer? They're like, for a real hero this summer, look up. And it's like the Smurfs coming out of the sky. It's like, fuck you, man. Like, really? Fucking eat a dick. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, really? You're going to fucking go toe to toe with Superman and you think you're going to fucking win? Eat a fucking dick. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Who the fuck are really this fucking goddamn franchise that's barely relevant in the 21st century? You're gonna act like, oh yeah, we're the one that's everyone's gonna go see. Like, really? Okay, sure. You keep thinking that, sweetheart.
Well, okay, John, what do you think about this question from Eagle Eye though? Do you think Miss Minute, the one from the TVA, is gonna make a cameo in Fantastic Four? Do you think this is just because like she would fit the aesthetic of these Fantastic Four and the TVA? Because this is the one thing that I always wondered. I was like, this TVA doesn't really fit aesthetically at all with the MCU main timeline.
Apparently, according to Hosea, apparently there's an influencer Smurf, and his name is Influencer Smurf. They used Rihanna music in the trailer. And it's like, I want to die. This thing is gonna get fucking crushed.
I think this is counter programming. They should have put it out in December, but then again, it's got Avatar in December. I don't know. There's really no good time of the year. They're like, we might as well stick it in the middle of everything else, where all the people are going to watch movies. There's plenty of money to go around. It will hopefully make enough money to, do what it needs to make.
Of course, James Corden is playing a fucking Smurf. Of course he is. Like, oh god, my brain hurts now.
Chris saying that his dad hated the Fantastic Four trailer. Everything about the oh wow, okay.
Ouch.
Your dad really didn't like it. Okay, what? Tell us why. Like, did he tell you why? Tell me why. Okay. By the way,
why.
you have Steven in the chat asking where's Liz. And to answer that question as I did earlier for somebody else was asking that too. Liz will be back next week. She's, as Ron's saying, she's out fighting crime. You know, she does like to, she stops by 2 days a week to be on the show with us, and then 3 other days a week she goes out and fights crime. So if you run across, you know, Batwoman in the streets, then there you go. You have found Liz, and we just doxed her on the internet. So that's okay though, because you know she is. What is the Batman? She is the shadows. She is the night. So you will probably not run into her unless you have something to worry about. So with that in mind, James Corden was an emoji for crying out loud. Yes, he was in that movie. Oh God, The Watcher. Thank you for reminding us of that. Now let's move on to the last story in the news before we get into the quick hits, and then we'll get into the DC news. This is a little more of a somber story, but I think one which is going to generate a lot of interest naturally. I mean, we talked about this literally when they were still, you know, having the actual movie Rust release, and people were like wondering, you know, is this tasteful? Should we be doing this? I mean, the family of Helena Hutchins supported the release, but now, I mean, we were talking about it back then. We were like, you know what? What's gonna generate more interest is the documentary about the making of Rust than the movie Rust itself. And so here we are. The Rust documentary focused on Helena Hutchins is now set at Hulu.
I'm just really curious about this. Like, is this what I'm curious about? Like, is this being made by is like this actually being made by her family, or is this made by an outside source? I'm really curious about that. But is it made someone close to the production? Sorry, this was like kind of a last minute thing I didn't see until later.
So this is being directed and produced by Rachel Mason. And I don't know if Rachel Mason was involved at all with the production of Rust. But the film weaves together the accounts of those who were on the set of Rust that day, and of those like Mason who not only Mason was involved actually with the movie. Who not only lost a cherished friend and colleague, but who are still navigating the trauma of the aftermath.
Right.
So,
okay, but yeah, here's the thing: doesn't this seem also kind of derivative a little bit? Like, I understand it's like commemorating her more than the movie that's being released that she died on, like died filming. But even isn't this a little bit derivative? It's one thing to make a documentary about Christopher Reeve.
I don't know if it's derivative. I definitely feel it's too early. Like
it's like this is like 20 years after that. Yeah, as I was saying, it's too early. Yeah. Like making a Bill Finger documentary like 50 years after his death, making a Christopher Reeve documentary 20 years after that. Is that the David Bowie Moon Age Daydream documentary that was made years after his death? So I don't know. It's just, it feels off and wrong and weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm being iffy on this. Maybe you guys agree or disagree. I'm curious what, you know.
It's set to release on March 11th. So I mean, yeah, it says right at the bottom of this article, March 11th, and then if you look at the headline here or the subheading, the name of the documentary is going to be Last Take: Rust and the Story of Helena, and it seeks to reveal the untold human story of the day that Hutchins was killed on set, and then its aftermath, of course, with all the friends and family, the crew that was on the set, and you know how they're still mourning just the loss of somebody who they loved and cherished as a friend, as a family member. So yeah, we talked about it back then. This is gonna generate a lot of interest whenever they do it. I personally didn't expect that we were gonna get it this soon. Now it may feel like it only happened, yesterday or something like to that effect, but the incident that killed Helena Hutchins, where the prop gun was discharged, and unfortunately it was a loaded gun. Alec Baldwin did not know that at the time, but it was October 21st, 2021. Yes, it's been litigated, and there's been lawsuits. I don't exactly know where things stand with that right now. Somebody let us know in the chat if you're more aware of what's going on with all the lawsuits around it. But October 21st, 2021, by the time this comes out, would have been a good 3.5 years ago. So it still feels really recent because it's almost like, you know, we doing a documentary on, I don't know, like the last days of, let's say, Chadwick Boseman before he passed would feel too recent. So I mean, this is even more recent than that. So at least the good thing is the person making the directing and producing the documentary was somebody who was really close to Helena Hutchins.
I guess so, yeah.
And to answer your question, Fiona, yes, they are releasing I think it was in the festival circuit. I don't know what the distribution plans for it are, if it's going to go theatrical or not. But yeah, I mean, you know,
I believe
surprised,
initially the family wanted it to be released.
I mean,
then then I think they got cold feet, didn't they? Then they're like, no, now we don't want it released.
The husband and the family were actually like, well, the husband at least was one of the executive producers on the movie, and they went back and they finished filming it. And it premiered at a festival, I think a couple of months ago. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah. Oh, by the way, The Watcher, we will get into the Rob Liefeld article later. But yeah, I mean, look, the movie it hasn't been seen by the majority of the people yet. And March 11th, the documentary is going to be out. So yeah, it feels a little too early. But hey, you know what? Hulu's going to have it. I'm sure it's going to draw a lot of interest. It's kind of like similar to, you know, something like what's going on with Diddy and all thing. I'm not saying the situations are similar, but I'm saying the documentary about something that is still a developing situation is already out. Like it's not like we're talking about Michael Jordan's career from the 90s, right? Like this is something that's much more recent. So hopefully it's done in good taste, and at least the people involved look like, you know, they were, you know, closely attached, related to, and were friends of Helena Hutchins. So, you know, hopefully they do it with grace, and that's all we can ask for. But March 11th, if you're interested, it's going to be on Hulu, and I believe that means internationally it's on Disney Plus, so you can check that out. But John, with that, we bring the news portion of the show to a close, and now we have to get into the quick hits. So hit that music. I'm going to put on that graphic, and we're going to get into the quick hits. There we go. All right, let's dive into the quick hits. So there's a Bakugan live action movie in the works, Sean. Brad Payton will write, direct, and produce the picture for Toy Maker Spin Master. Are you interested?
I never played with Bakugan. I never watched the show. I remember when it was big, like with like Digimon, Pokemon, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember when all that shit was popular. All the card games, video games, anime shit. Like, I remember when all that was popular. I vaguely remember the commercials, and that's about it.
Yeah. 30, you know what, Caleb, thanks for calling us out on that. It will probably go on for 30 minutes. I still remember those commercials. Like, that announcer voice, like back when like the kids commercial. Yeah, it takes me back.
Sorry, Terrence, there's not a lot of DCU news today, so
we're gonna get into DC news. We do have
a little bit, but not a lot.
But we will get into it later. So yes, and I'm sure, Fiona, as you were saying, everybody does smell great in the chat.
I took a shower today, finally. So
I take a shower every day. I take a shower every day.
I take it every other day because it's not good for your skin.
Fair enough. But touche. The Watcher with an.
I appreciate that, Steven.
Thank you, Steven. We do.
He has the vest.
Like to.
You do have the vest today.
Yeah.
Who has the vest? Does Hosea have the vest fetish, or is it somebody else?
Somebody was asking for the vest. I don't know. Like you actually made me change
fetish,
into the vest during the show. But anyway. All right. Water.
I'm pretty sure most people run away from you, Caleb. I'm pretty sure, not just water. So.
I don't know where that comment's coming from. Dude, Beyblade, Ben 10, Bakugan.
Let her rip.
Let her rip. Yeah, exactly.
Also, we did get two Ben 10 live action movies, and they both suck.
They both suck.
Maybe let's not do that.
Maybe we need like an official Disney live action version of it, like, you know, like one of those.
That'll be like the fucking not Omniverse. What is the newest one that was like made it look all kitty and shit, and it sucked? I forget what that one. The latest Ben 10 show.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I chose to forget it. But anyway, so let's talk about Jean Reno. He's set to star in Tom Edmonds' action thriller, The Butler. This to me sounds like another John Wick movie, but it's Jean Reno, and I'm all for it. What do you think?
As long as it's nothing like the Lee Daniels Butler, I'm here for it because I love Jean Reno. Dude's great.
He is great. He is one of the OGs of the French cinema. So moving on, Spotify and Warner Music strike a new multi-year deal. Now the major agreement delivers new benefits for artists, songwriters, and fans while unlocking further collaboration that expands the music ecosystem. So if you're part of the Warner Music library, or if you have a record deal with them or one of their record labels, then you now have even greater access to Spotify. Is this a good thing, John? What do you think about it?
I think this is corporations fucking over artists even more so.
I see a Court of Thorns and Roses. Yes, I know somebody who reads those books who was convinced.
Yeah, I know someone who reads those books. Yeah.
Let's not reveal who those people are. Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld. There you go, watcher. Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld will no longer work with Marvel after Deadpool and Wolverine premiere Indignities.
I thought we covered this. Isn't this the reason you started Image, you fucking twat? 1991, you were like, I'm sick of Marvel. Hey, Todd. Hey, Jim. Let's start Image. I thought we were done with this fucking 30 fucking years ago. Why are you still talking about this? Why are you old man yelling at cloud this bullshit again, Rob? Like, what are you doing? Like, you have Image. You have your own fucking comic book company. Why do you give a fuck about Marvel? Like, why is this thing? Why is he news? Why is Rob Liefeld still relevant? Because he's not. He's not relevant. He's just pokes his head out. He's like a groundhog. He pokes his head out every like 6 months.
I'm like,
I still exist, and then he fucks off again.
Apparently, he was denied access to the after party for the movie premiere of Deadpool and Wolverine, and then he said this: Kevin Feige does not treat comic book creators well. Which
we know this. Yes, we know Kevin Feige fucks over comic book creators. We have done this song and dance with a hell of a lot other and better comic book writers and artists over the years. We know Kevin Feige fucks them over. You're not special, Rob. You're not special. So just go back to whatever hole you came from and just fuck off, please.
All right, cool. Let's move on then. Hedara and Melanie Laurent are set to star in a spy thriller, Mata, boarded by Indie Sales, Warner Brothers France, ahead of EFM, which I don't know what EFM is, but I just thought Melanie Laurent and Hedara in a movie together. That sounds fun to me. I still remember, I think Melanie Laurent was in the Inglourious Basterds, right? She's one of the leads in that movie. And then she was in that Ryan Reynolds, was it Underground 6 or something on Netflix? With that, was a Michael Bay movie? I was
literally just going to say, I was going to quote Jimon Hunsu from Guardians of the Galaxy. Who? I don't know who either of these bitches are, but then you said Inglourious Basterds. I'm like, oh yeah, the Jew that ignites the cinema on fire. Yeah. I am the Jew to do it. Yeah. No, I remember that. I know who that is. I don't know who the other chick is.
Well,
cool, I guess.
Sounds like a fun movie. Sounds like a fun spy thriller.
Anyway.
We shall see. Maybe it's another variant of a John Wick movie. In other Emilia Perez news, we've been following this story for the last few days and couple of weeks actually now. Yep. But yeah, it looks like Carla Sofia Gascon, who's embattled, let's say, because of the comments that she has made in recent and distant past. She's going to be skipping the Spanish Goya Awards amid all the controversy. So not only is she not going to be coming over to the U.S. for all of the the ceremonies, the AFI, the DGA, the PGA, the Critics' Choice Awards, all of those awards, their luncheons and stuff. Not only is she not going to be doing any of those things, she's also not going to the award show in her home country. So she's staying at home pretty much throughout all of this, and Netflix is distancing themselves from her, and the director of the movie said, I have not spoken to her, I don't want to. Every time they ask Zoe Saldana, she's like, I'm saddened, but I'm trying to keep positive. Like, what do you think about this? Is it gonna keep getting worse? Have you hit rock bottom yet for Carla?
Fuck off, bitch. Yeah, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You act like an asshole on the internet, guess what? That's gonna come back to bite you in the ass.
And then, by the way, Manos Time saying EFM is European film market, so that's probably where they're looking to get more distribution for that film that Melanie Laurent and Aya Hedara are a part of, Mata. So yeah, hopefully they get more distribution across Europe. At the EFF.
Fiona was also really upset she didn't get invited to the after party. That's a shame.
But then she did say that her invite looks like it got lost in the mail, so all is forgiven. She'll
Ron wasn't
generously
invited
accept the next
either.
invite.
What a shame.
That's unfortunate,
Oh, well.
John. That's unfortunate, Ron. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Caleb Underwood, James Gunn, first time. But at least the difference is, like, James Gunn just said stupid jokes that are dated by today's standards. She said, like, fucked up racist shit.
It's also like, I think it's old stuff and recent stuff, right? So it's like, how do you believe that she's actually truly repenting and has changed her perspective? So that's the other thing that bothers me about what. But hey, you know what? Hopefully she's gonna, this whole thing is gonna hit rock bottom, and then she can maybe work on recovering, because if she is indeed, repenting and remorseful, let's say, for her actions, then yeah, I mean, eventually, maybe she can make a comeback, but we'll see. Japan's first interactive movie, Hypnosis Mike, turns theaters into a rap battle arena. It's okay to shout. It's okay to shout while watching this one, the director says. John, what do you think about this?
I think that's pretty cool.
It's gonna be one hell of a movie theater experience.
Yeah, it's like Japan being Japan. That's all I gotta say about that. They're fucking insane, and you know what? Good for them. Definitely fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine this movie theater will be so loud you could barely hear the movie.
You could like hear it from like fucking 4 miles away. They have to like get rid of all the other movies in the theater because it's gonna be so fucking loud.
And just like random dudes everywhere like spitting out
It's gonna
Mom's
turn into a
spaghetti,
club.
and it's just great.
Just everyone shouting "Mom's spaghetti" over, and it's just not even the actual song. Mom's spaghetti, Mom's spaghetti. And there you go.
Speaking of Mom's spaghetti, look at what Jackie Chan has in his hands there. Warner Brothers releases 31 it's not Mom's spaghetti, but WB Warner Brothers has now released 31 full-length movies on its YouTube channel, streaming for free, John. Of course, including the Jackie Chan movie there. Are you looking forward to checking out all these movies for free? They include Mutiny on the Bounty,
of course it has like
The Adventures of Pluto Nash,
and Return of the
Mission.
Living Dead Part 2. I've heard. Oh wait, no, that's The Mission. I've heard. There was one with Jeremy Irons that I heard was like really good.
I mean, dude, Marlon Brando's in Mutiny on the Bounty. That's
yeah. So it's like
Marlon
not
Brando.
like it's the shit they like don't give a fuck about is like being thrown on there. It's not like you're gonna be watching Dune Part 2 on YouTube for free. It's like
the most watched one is Mr. Nice Guy, which was a 1997 action comedy starring Jackie Chan.
That's that's where he's holding Mom's spaghetti.
Yep, there you go. I mean, look, like the rise of Roku, Tubi, Pluto. There's so much more content available now where all you gotta do is watch some ads and you can watch the movie for free. So there just seems to be there's more of them now. So like Warner Brothers has added another 31 to the list of available movies. Now in this article, Bob Iger explained why Venu, which was like meant to be a Fox, TNT Sports and Disney merger, like where not merger, but they were gonna come together and create like a big bundle where all of their sports rights you can get in one like streaming service. But then it got like there was a lawsuit against it by Fubo TV. So then Disney was like, we're gonna buy Fubo TV, but then like the Venu venture fell apart. Now Fox is starting up a new streaming service, and they're gonna launch ESPN as its own thing. So Bob Iger is basically talking about how like this is actually to the benefit of the company, because their goal is to make ESPN as accessible as possible, and so that they can get to the fans in as many ways as possible. So do you think this is a good thing? Like the fact that they've bought Fubo and now they're basically going away from that whole big company they were gonna put together, where you could have seen literally NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and all the big leagues, and even even other leagues beyond that, some international rights as well. Like
if you want to watch some cricket, like hell yeah, I guess
some IPL, some
BBL,
World Cup, yeah. The PSL. No, those are the real things. I mean, I'm just saying.
The PSN. Yeah. Totally real things. Anyway. I don't really care about sports. I don't care about Bob Iger.
Cool.
I don't care about Disney.
Moving on then.
Yeah, there we go. No, I'm just kidding.
I
can
think the
beat.
beat
I
is
mean, I
already
can kind of
there.
beatbox. I
think
can't rap. I can't rap.
Yeah.
You're confusing rap and beatboxing. So,
Yes, Ron, I do watch the PSL every once in a while. I don't know the.
I watch the BBL. That's what I watch. I watch it gyrate.
Yeah, I think there's a BPL, the Bangladeshi Premier League. Anyway, not a BBL. I don't know what a BBL would be.
It's
but
Brazilian butt lifts.
John, by the way, if you want to do a rap battle, I will bring my A game.
No.
I will bring
as
my
I said
A
in the
game.
comments, I'm gonna leave that to
done for.
I'm gonna leave that to Kendrick Lamar. He's the golden boy right now.
He's gonna
Let's
do it
have
for
him.
us. He's on the at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the controversy. Imagine if like Drake is invited and they actually have a rap battle. That's gonna break the internet in the middle of the Super Bowl. Because you know the
and then
game
he sees all
itself
the
probably
kids,
won't.
and then Drake sees all the kids that are there and starts licking his lips.
Oh God. No, I mean Ron, I don't want to get John to say that. Like that's gonna come from the heart, you know. But you know what? Terrence is making a point. Lamar.
I don't even know what that
Lamar
means,
did
and
say,
I feel like I'm gonna be saying something that's fucked up and it's gonna get me canceled. So I'm
it's a chant, like, you know, let's go. That's what the word means. Like, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, anyway, but Kendrick Lamar is up for a collaboration, so you know what? The ball is in Drake's court. 7 sizzling sausages. God. Okay. Smack the like button, as Jose is saying. By the way, we do appreciate it. Not enough likes in this joint right now.
Yeah,
hey,
guys, come on, fucking losers. No, I'm just kidding.
SNL is celebrating its 50th anniversary soon. They're gonna do a 50th anniversary special, and it's gonna have a ton of guests. You're gonna have Tom Hanks. You're gonna have Scarlett Johansson, Dave Chappelle, Steve Martin, Miley Cyrus. They're gonna have John Mulaney, Kim Kardashian, Paul McCartney, Pedro Pascal, Peyton Manning, Quinta Brunson, Robert De Niro, Sabrina Carpenter, Adam Driver, Ayo Adabiri, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is gonna be there. I'm like, okay, so there's.
Oh my
so
God,
many,
I don't give a fuck.
so many.
I don't
names.
like. I like some SNL. Honestly, the only thing worth watching on SNL at this point is Colin Jost and Michael Che's Weekend Update. That's literally the only thing worth watching. Or like if an actually funny comedian is the host, like when Bill Burr was the host, like 5 or 6 years ago.
I don't know,
was,
man.
like,
I
worth
think
watching.
I think Adam Driver did a pretty good job. His secret boss one, is that what it called? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That was still one of the best bits in all of SNL history. Where he's on a starship, like
I mean, that was
Star
better than
Destroyer.
the entire
Oh,
sequel
God.
trilogy. So like,
Yeah. Yep. Now I need to go watch that again. I literally laugh at that.
I like
every
how they
time I
made a
see
sequel to that too. That was
it. Yeah. Speaking of sequels, Love Hurts is not a sequel, but Kehu
great
Kwan.
segue.
Thank you. Kehu Kwan has got a new movie, Love Hurts, that's out now. But guys, it's dropped a dud on Rotten Tomatoes, 21% to 34 reviews, which we can actually give you guys an update on because we have
Now
the
it's back.
updated
Now it's up to
score.
23.
It's
Oh,
23 with 61 reviews. Yay! It went up. John, are you surprised that it's gotten reviews that are this bad?
I am shooketh, as the kids would say. Like, you think that this would, like, I've been stoked about this for months now. I thought the trailers were great. Kehu Kwan is our boy. I mean, Ariana DeBose has an Oscar for a reason. I'm not really familiar with her work, but I'm sure she's great too. It's got, I always forget the football player's name. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I always forget his name. But yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna see it. Hopefully, I'm gonna see it either tomorrow or Saturday. But like, damn, Steven Spielberg really dropped the ball on this one because he was the one that pushed Kwan to do this, and now
He was like, "This
it
sounds
sucks."
great. You should do it." And he was like, "Okay, Steven, I will do it." I mean,
And
look, it's
okay. Papyrus is a good skit.
Papyrus 2. Oh god, what was it? They made it bold.
It's
Yeah.
bold.
I loved it. But hey, these movies usually don't always need the best rating to do well at the box office.
I mean, you know what? I'd be willing to bet like maybe the popcorn meter is going to be like in the 70s or something like that. I'm sure it's like going to have huge.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the 80s because it just sounds like this movie is going to be just dumb fun. Because if you
I mean, to be fair, it is Rotten Tomatoes, but the thing is, it also has like like a 5.4 on IMDb. I trust IMDb well enough. Like, I'm still gonna see it. I'm still gonna judge it for myself. But IMDb also has a low score, and so that's not great either. But yeah, so like, I mean, some of the audience reviews you can see, like, one has a 5, one has a 2.5. So it's like, it's a little bit mixed, but yeah.
The watchers just reciting the whole sketch. I love it. Dude, Adam Driver needs to come back. He is coming back. All right, let's keep on going here, shall we? So here's the next rumor. We'll still review the movie, but hey, according to the Jeff Snyder of the Insider, Marvel Studios' X-Men film will reportedly begin filming next year, aiming for a 2027 release. The official casting announcement and the director reveal are expected in the coming months.
No, Jeff Snyder, shut the fuck up. Go back to the 10th circle of hell where you fucking belong. We gotta stop Snyders from ruining comic book movies, guys. Whether it's shitty ones or misinformation, we gotta stop. It has to stop. It's time to stop. In the words of Filthy Frank, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Fuck you, Jeff Snyder. Fuck you. I don't believe this for a fucking second. They're not starting anything X-Men related. If you're right about this, it's got broken clock right, twice a day bullshit. Eat a fucking dick. Fuck you, Jeff Snyder. Fucking rotten hell. I hate you. I hate you. I personally hate. If I see you, I am punching you in the face. I'm giving you a black eye because dude, fuck you.
He doesn't even know you. He's like, I don't even know you. It's like, who are you, John?
Bro, I'm like ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for you, Jeff. Hold on. Hang on. I gotta take my things off. Hang on.
What is going on? John is ready. He's got like one of those like barbed wire baseball bats probably back there.
I'm fucking coming for you, Jeff. I'm fucking coming for you. You better fucking watch it, Jeff. You fucking watch it. I'm sick of this misinformation. I'm sick of this. Get the fuck out of here. You get out of here. You fucking hear me right now, Jeff? You fucking get out of here, or I'm fucking coming for you. You better shut the fuck up. You better shut the fuck up. I'm gonna come for you. I'm gonna come for you. This is all a joke, by the way. I mean, I hate the guy. I'm not going to kill him. I'm not fucking stupid to put that on a live show. I'm not dumb.
I'm just, taking out of context, that could mean something very different than what you were intending to.
That's a joke, by the way. It's a joke. I'm not gonna kill a man over misinformation. God damn, I'm crazy. I'm not that crazy. It's a machete, actually, specifically. That was funny. Yikes. I got to whip that out on camera. Good times.
Yep. We got Chuck Rod in the chat saying John is armed and dangerous. Indeed, he is.
Yeah.
Like, don't cut your arm off, John. Caleb is.
I'm not gonna cut my arm up. No, I'm good. I'm good.
You sure? You good over there?
Yeah, I'm good. But I got it. Don't fuck with me. I'm not gonna hurt. It's like a novelty at best. It's like dull. It's like doesn't work. It's like I found it in my grandparents' house when we were cleaning it out, and I'm like, Ma, can I take this? She's like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay.
Hello, Jalen in the chat. Fiona's like, it's cool. I got a Claymore in my closet. I can attest to that. And I believe that one isn't blunt either. So don't get on her bad side. As I try desperately not to. John has been waiting for this moment. Stone Cold, there's more foam in that sword there is on my beard.
I gotta fucking reiterate that so I don't have the fucking police coming to my fucking door and be like,
Well, John, since you were so happy about this rumor, ready for this next thing? They released another clip for Captain America: Brave New World, and in this one, they're all the three they're not really all Captain Americas, but one of them is actually a super soldier. The other two, they are the current Captain America and Falcon having a conversation. You know,
Oh, the thing that the Daredevil Born Again showrunner absolutely hates. He hates it when people have conversations because it's boring, right? Yeah.
to me, this is just like they keep releasing clips. I know we're basically a week away from the movie, but like, do we really need to put out a new clip literally every day of the week? Like, I feel like we need to just get the movie
The
out
Watcher,
already.
Captain America, Brave New Strategy of Flops.
Yikes. Look, I still think this movie is gonna make some money because it opens to 95
I think
million.
it'll make its money back, maybe double.
Then
but I don't think it's gonna make a ton though.
it needs to make what, like $500 million to like more or less break even or be profitable, right? So
Yeah.
that's not too much. By Marvel.
I mean, with the
standards.
amount of advertising they're doing, I think it would be like triple the budget, so that would be around like $600 million. So around there.
Oh, I think Jose, you're gonna set off John with that one.
What?
This movie still has more reshoots than trailers. Only just.
It doesn't, Hosea. I did a whole thing on this. It's not true. It was 22 days of reshoots. It's not
That's
the
all it
5
was.
months that stupid fucking Jeff Snyder reported on. So,
Yep.
yeah. Fuck you,
TC24
Jeff. See what you've
saying, "You
done.
kinda go see Cap."
See what you've done, you loser. Anyway.
Ay, ay, ay. Bucky Cap coming soon. Yes, Bucky Cap is in Thunderbolts. He is coming soon. But TC24 wasn't. Yeah, I got shit to do today. Well, I mean, you know, I always have shit to do every day, but like, I think I'm gonna try to go to the movie theater and see the movie because I want to see how Anthony Mackie does. You know,
if I cared, I would, but I just don't care about Marvel stuff anymore. That's just
all right.
With the exception of Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four.
Well, with that, I think we're come to the end of Quick Hits. Let me just get my words out. So you can stop that music. Thank you. Well, if you guys haven't already hit the like button, if you enjoyed the conversation, do hit the like button. Do hit the like button. Get down in the comments. If you're watching us live, thank you so much.
Get down on it. Bow, bow, bow. Yeah. Get down on it. Bow, bow, bow. Don't silence me. Get down on it. Bow, bow, bow. Get down on it. Anyway.
Thank you, John. You didn't have to take me off the.
Take me out. Like I'm going to be taking Jeff out to a maybe nice dinner date to explain to him that he shouldn't be doing misinformation on the internet.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's talk about DCU Daily. We've got lots to talk about. As always, I am your host, Dan. And of course, with me, I've got John. John, are you still
I don't know if we have a
on
lot to talk about. We have one thing to talk about. Like one major thing. Okay. But
dude, we have a few things to talk about. And the people have been waiting. So let's talk about a few things, shall we? But dude, you are on a roll today. And Jose is loving every moment of it. John's karaoke.
Get down on your knees if you have
to
like the comments.
Damn.
I mean, I'll get down on my knees for any certain individual. Depends. Maybe Henry Cavill, but like that's about it. That's the only one that comes to mind. But he's in a happy relationship right now, and I'm not a home wrecker, so you know.
Yikes. I'm trying to find that Josh Allen one. Where is that one?
John's karaoke go-to is Cool in the Gang plus 1,000 aura. I don't even know what that means, but I like it.
Yeah.
I'm adding that to the pantheon of compliments and quotes.
Yep. While you do that, let's talk about, somebody who is on a pantheon of greats, and that is Christopher Reeve Superman. Anthony Mackie, who we were just talking about before in the news section, that he's got a new movie coming out, Captain America: Brave New World, and he was recently talking about, of course, who was his favorite superhero growing up. He has already said that Michael Keaton is his Batman. That's the Batman he grew up with. But he also recently said that Christopher Reeve Superman was his favorite superhero growing up, and he didn't care that he was white. He wanted to be him anyway. What do you think about these comments from Anthony Mackie?
That's how it is. Like, don't get me wrong, representation matters, but at the same time, it shouldn't pigeonhole you into the characters you like and relate to. I just think, like, for instance, like a lot of the characters I relate to, like the three characters off the top of my head that I relate to, 2 are Hispanic and 2 of them are women. So, it's specifically Jessica Cruz, Green Lantern, Allura Katan from the Orville, and Seuss from Gravity Falls. Those are the characters I like relate to a lot. And I am not Hispanic nor a woman. So it just goes to show that, like, no matter who you are, you can relate to anybody. But I'm not saying representation doesn't matter. Maybe he can be Batwing. I mean, similar thing, he's kind of like Falcon in a way.
I mean, he did get rid of his cowl that you see in the picture there. I saw an interview where he was talking about, like, he was asked, why did they get rid of, like, that whole look that you have in the, in the comics, the fact that when Falcon becomes Captain America, that's the look. And he was like, I asked them to, because, like, the glasses would always fog up, all of it was skin tight. So, like, he would be sweating through it every time he put it on. So he was like, I was just not comfortable with it. So, like, it was on his request that they got rid of it, which I understand completely. I mean, a lot of the actors who have played Batman over the years, they've basically said the same. Like, the cowl is like, you're in a suit.
Make sure you piss in it. That's what both Christian Bale and Ben Affleck said to Robert Pattinson. Make sure you can piss in the goddamn outfit.
Well, I mean, that's why Christian Bale's suit got better after, Batman Begins, where he still had that, shoulder thing where you couldn't turn your head. But then by the time they got to the Dark Knight, they were like, all right, bless you, John.
Sorry, I tried to mute myself, but it wasn't in time. I apologize.
It's all good. So today's Unhinged. Today's the night. Man, Liz, if only Liz was here, she would just be sitting back.
I try to mute myself for sneezes, burps, and farts. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. I'm just saying, I appreciate that Anthony Mackie loves Superman, and also, of course, he loves Batman. So, is he trying to get himself a gig with DC, John? Is that what's about to happen?
Maybe.
Is he trying to get on the DC
I gotta give Caleb what he wants eventually. Maybe not now, but like maybe on another episode. We gotta keep that.
Ron and Hosea and Fiona, everybody.
I mean,
blessing you in the chat.
But the thing is, he doesn't really need it. Bro is about to star in his own feature that's going to be getting millions, and he's going to be, fighting Harrison Ford as the Hulk. Like, he's got it going pretty. He's got his own sidekick. He's working with Carl Lumley and Harrison Ford. He's winning. I don't think he needs DC right now. I think he's just like, I think what he's trying to do, like, maybe is like give some respect to the other side. Oh, thank you. Because it's like there's a lot of, like, even if it's fake, like, butting heads, it's still like, it's still a little bit silly. Maybe it's like Anthony Mackie's like trying to be like, you know what? DC's great. DC's awesome. I love Batman. I love Superman. The, legendary, iconic heroes, and just show some love to the other side. Like, I remember when
the rising tide raises all boats or all ships. And also, like, what was it? Sebastian Stan recently talked about, hey, going over to the other side, and trust me, it's great. And then he said, Supergirl, you know what? I'm gonna raise the bar. Supergirl is gonna be fucking awesome. I think it was fucking great. Those were his words, because he loves Craig Gillespie as a director, and he's worked with him before.
I remember when Joss Whedon, I know Joss Whedon's a piece of shit, but like when he was doing press stuff for Age of Ultron, he was like, I'm so fucking excited for BVS. This is gonna be fucking great. It's gonna be the greatest movie. I'm so excited. This is gonna be amazing. And even though it didn't turn out to be the greatest thing ever, it was just like, hyping up the other side kind of thing. I like that, because even though I like Jason Momoa, like, he had to write "fuck Marvel" on the guy's like autograph, or Robert Downey Jr. is like, you need a degree to understand The Dark Knight. It's like, all right. Exactly. Although Marvel would be Bloods, DC would be Crips, but it's like, bro, why can't we be friends? Why do we gotta fight? Come on now.
Yeah. I appreciate the enthusiasm. And in a year when we have a Superman movie coming out and a Captain America movie coming out, I mean, it's gonna be a good year at the box office for superhero movies, hopefully. But hey, the exact quote was, I grew up wanting to be Christopher Reeves. Yeah, I didn't care he was a white dude. I didn't care he's from another planet. It was the humanity of the character that I connected with. And you know what? That's what Superman's all about. And I think that's what we're getting back to capturing in a way that a lot of fans felt we didn't capture with the Henry Cavill version, even though I thought there were a lot of good moments where we did capture the humanity of the character of Superman. In fact, I think the moment where you see the idea that his father like sacrifices himself so that the fact that he's Superman doesn't get revealed to the world, that's was devastating to him growing up. But most people misread that scene entirely. But anyway, before we get into that rabbit hole, let's keep on going to the next piece of news here. This isn't really a piece of news so much that I think it's just good fan art that we should appreciate. Creature Commandos, of course, just ended its first season, and the Commandos will be back for a season 2, hopefully soon. We don't know exactly when, but it is greenlit. And James Gunn today shared a bunch of artwork from Nate Jones, which looks pretty fantastic. And it's each of the main characters from the first season. It's dedicated a panel. And John, having gone through all of these, is any of them a standout to you? Do you like one over the other? What's your favorite?
I like all of them. They're all pretty cool. I mean, in terms of characters, like got G.I. Robot that I like. I'm glad he's survived, but they really fucked over fucking Nina Mazursky. Oh, get her in water. Gets in water, immediately dies. Like, all right. Well, there goes that. This stare of disassociation. Yeah.
That's probably the funniest one. My favorite one, I think, was G.I. Robot would like to kill Nazis with you. Would you like to kill Nazis with G.I. Robot? I'm like,
I
yes.
would love to kill Nazis with you, G.I. Robot.
Yes, count me in. Let's go on an adventure together.
Yeah, let's go to Tesla headquarters. I mean, what? Did I say that out loud?
Oh,
anyway.
Boy. Oh, boy.
But I really like these designs. I think they're really cool. You need therapy. Everybody needs a little therapy. I think that's healthy for everyone. You're like, oh, I'm normal. I don't need therapy. Well, you still need it. It's like exercise for your brain. So go to therapy, guys.
And John and Fiona's like, and bring your machete with you. By the way, I always call him machete.
I will happily bring my machete with me.
Machete.
To kill
machete.
Nazis.
Is that how you say it? I think you say
machete.
Machete. Yeah. I want another machete.
Call me Jason because I got my machete.
Thank you, just some geeky guy, for a $2 super chat. Great question. How much do you want to bet RDJ's Doom is in the film, as in Fantastic Four, John? Do you think he's showing up?
I mean, there was a rumor that he was going to appear in 15 to 20 minutes. I'm willing to bet that it's like a cameo or a post-credit scene at most.
Imagine if that rumor was from Jeff Snyder. I have no idea. Maybe it was Daniel RPK or My Time to Shine. I don't know. But bring the machete back out, bro. This is a slow clap.
No, I got my it's like a fist. Hang on, I got up.
Dude, Ron is just vibing with your GI Robot take, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. I won't take it out, but like, there it is. Got my. I don't even know where it's from. Like, maybe I can ask my mom about it, but yeah. Good, great. Although it's kind of cracked a little bit, but that's okay. Maybe I could try to restore it. Like get some rust remover and like put like on like hang it on a wall or something. Be nice. Yeah. There it is. That's the full view of it. It's like about how big it is.
Dude, yeah. I hope you do not get yourself cut by that thing because you're probably gonna get a really bad infection. Like that just looks like that's an infection waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Like please.
I'd get fucking tetanus, I'd get AIDS, I'd get like everything.
By the way, the Watcher and Ron suggesting that maybe we'll get RDJ in the trailer for Fantastic Four. I don't think we will. Because if he's in there,
if we didn't get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in the
they went out of their way to take them out of shots. I doubt we're gonna get RDJ in the trailer.
No, so definitely not.
I just don't think that's gonna happen. But hey, you know what is gonna happen, John? We are getting the Puppy Bowl soon. So for all fans of cute doggies,
I have my water here.
Cool. For all fans.
Well, Fiona said I was thirsty, so.
Oh, really? Is that okay? I missed that comment. Oh yeah, John looks thirsty. You should drink some more.
I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty around hot bitches. So like, yeah, you know how it is. Speaking of bitches, look at the dogs on the screen.
Cool. Nice transition. We got Jake. We got Scooby-Doo in the picture. We have Toto, Astro, Huckleberry Hound, and of course Crypto the Super Dog.
Okay, what the fuck is Toto doing? Toto's
The
just like
Wizard
a
of
dog. Like this motherfucker like went into this house like, oh, I gotta save Toto. She's the reason. He's the reason she got knocked out in the first place. Like, fuck out of here with that shit. Like the only ones like that are like worth a damn are Crypto, Jake, and Astro. Like unless you like, it's like you need like an Ace the Bat Hound. But even then, Scooby Doo can't fucking do anything. He just eats snacks the whole time and runs away. So, you know,
dude, Scooby Doo is like the Batman of dogs. Like he solves
technically
crime.
Ace the Bat Hound is the bat.
Yeah. I mean, technicalities, you know what I mean? Like it's
anyway. But I would say Crypto or Jake are definitely like the goated, like those are like the Eli Mannings, Tom Brady's of the, you know, not the Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes needs a ref to bail him out, but I'm talking about like actual guys with real talent. But Crypto and Jake, because Jake can like is like, you know, it's like Plastic Man, where he can just like be fucking huge, like, you know, wrap people up in his arms and stuff like that. Astro's kind of cool. I mean, he can just kind of talk about, look at that jetpack. Like he's got a gun. He's right. He's fucking strapped, you know?
Just some geeky guy with another super chat. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Although I'm personally looking forward to both, my friend Robert Storms is more looking forward to Superman than Fantastic Four, and I will sometimes purposefully bash Gunn Superman.
Bro, don't lie. Don't fuck. Oh, I bash him just to get his goat. You fucking hate James Gunn. Get the fuck out of here. You hate James Gunn. You hate the Superman. You're just trying to be nice for the show. That's all it is. All right, don't lie. But thanks for the $10.
Well, speaking of, the question in the promo is, which pup are you drafting? Fiona's saying she's going to be drafting Crypto.
Well, if she's taking Crypto, I'm taking Jake. I'm taking Jake.
Okay. All right, well, Hosea seems to agree with Fiona's take because Hosea thinks that Crypto is better than Scooby-Doo. I think it depends on the day. I'm really close to Scooby-Doo, the character. I grew up with Scooby-Doo a lot. But, I mean, Crypto is the super dogs. I'm like, you know, if it comes to, like,
bacon in
punches,
the pancake. Making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Thank you for that, Fiona. Love that so much.
I personally
would hope, Hosea, that you like Jake over, you know, Scooby-Doo. You have the Superman logo in your profile picture.
Yeah, well,
making pancakes, making bacon pancakes.
To me, this is just between Crypto and Scooby-Doo. And I know that you know, we're gonna get the closest thing to Crypto at the Puppy Bowl, which is Ozu, because Crypto is based on Ozu. So yeah, man, if you're a DC fan, this is DCU Daily. You probably should draft Crypto, and because we'll probably get a special look at the movie, and we'll get more footage of Crypto from the movie. So I'm excited for that. Thrawn Kill is like, why is Paw Patrol not on this list? Discriminating? Is Paw Patrol
they're anti-police?
Okay, yeah. Defund the Paw Police. Anyway, now we're getting real political. Okay.
Oh boy, let's move on. Yeah, anyway, Crypto, he looks really cute in this picture, doesn't he?
He looks really, really cute. I love Crypto.
I gotta ask, because thing is, I'm not really familiar with Huckleberry Hound. Like, I know Droopy Dog.
You don't remember Huckleberry Hound?
Like,
dude,
Droopy
Boomerang.
Dog,
oh god, yeah.
Well, I know Boomerang, but I never watched Huckleberry Hound. Like,
he's got like this.
Makes me mad. Like, I know that guy, but I don't really know Huckleberry. I watched the Jetsons. I've seen the Wizard of Oz. I mean, I'm fucking Scooby-Doo. It's great. Yeah, I'm fine. Dog, he's important too. Yeah. But I'm drafting Crypto, bro. He's OP. He is OP. He does. I said this in the comments.
The way you said that, I'm drafting Crypto, bro, sounded like a different kind of Crypto. But anyway.
Oh God, gross. Ew. But yeah, like, look at that sandwich. Who's that guy? Fred. That guy who's that old guy who makes all the stuff from like pop culture. He made like the sandwich with the lobster sole and all that stuff. Gromit is great. Speaking of Vengeance Most Foul and all that. Gromit's
not a
goated.
Warner Brothers character, which is probably why he's not on the list.
Hong
but yes.
Kong Phooey. Yeah, why the fuck are we bringing Toto and Huckleberry Hound in this bitch? Why not bring like the actually goated dogs in here, like Hong Kong Phooey and Gromit? They can actually do stuff.
You know what they need to do? They need to bring the dog. What's his name? Spike from Tom and Jerry. He needs to be on this list.
Oh yeah, he's
dude,
great.
we need Spike from Tom and Jerry on the list. Come on, that's a big miss.
What's another really good
miss.
dog? Very good. I mean, yeah.
Was there a dog in the Flintstones?
No. Well, I mean, there was
a dragon.
dinosaur that acted like a dog.
Yes, there's that.
Dino.
Okay.
Dino the Dino. That was it.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. They need Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I don't know how useful he'd be. He would just run away.
I could literally watch that dude. That show actually, I used to watch it when I was young enough that it actually would scare me.
It depends on which Bolt. If it's normal Bolt, then it's but if it's like the bolts from the show, then like yeah, exactly. Where's Ace the Bat Hound?
Yeah,
get fucking rid of Toto. Like what the fuck is it? Brain from Inspector Gadget. That's another great one. This is a shit list. Like fuck this. Like outside of like 3 of them, they're like not good. Not good here.
Toto, you just
yeah, fuck Toto. What the hell did he do? He escaped and then he went back into the house that caused, this bitch to fucking dream this whole thing and like nearly went into a coma. And if we're counting the sequel, made this bitch go to fucking electroshock therapy. Fun fact, that actually happened. Return to Oz, goated. Anyway.
Cool. Hey, look, Courage does solve a lot of problems.
I guess so, but he does run away a lot. I mean, he is the cowardly dog for a reason.
I mean, look, I think all of these characters are Warner Brothers characters, but yeah, Max from Secret Life of Pets could be a good one. Wait, Jose, I don't know if I remember that. You might be aging. Yeah, you might be aging.
Oh, from I know Reboot. I watched a couple episodes of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember Frisket the character, but I remember Reboot. It was like one of the first like CGI animated shows, and it shows. It's very dated, but like it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, we've got Crypto in there. I think the whole reason why this list was put together is because Crypto is going to be making an appearance at the Puppy Bowl. So, Ron was a toddler in the 90s watching. There you go. Okay, cool. Watching Frisket. Nice. Well, hey, Pluto the dog. Okay, Caleb, good suggestion. Another good one. Yeah. Well, you know what? These are the 6 that are up on on offer. So, I think Scooby-Doo and Crypto are the stars of the show, and Astro as well. Maybe the Jetsons make a comeback. Then you got 3 others that you don't agree with so much. Before we get into the main story for the day, I wanted to kind of quickly get into. Okay.
This is Reboot. This is the show.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I was watching Beast Wars at this time. I was watching like that, terrible Transformers.
This is what Reboot is. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Hosea. Yeah. I watched a couple of. I don't remember watching this a lot, but I remember a couple episodes. But yeah,
anybody watch Pingu? Not a dog. It was a penguin show, but yeah.
Ren from Ren. Ren can't do shit. What are you talking about? Anyway, boom. There we go.
God, TC24 going with a deep cut. Oh my god. Oh, Cocaine Bear. That's not a dog. Cocaine Bear's not a dog. What about the dog from the horror film Cujo? Cujo.
Okay. It's just a dog with rabies. I mean, I don't think that would be good because rabies is, yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah. Well,
we already talked about Paw Patrol. You're late.
Yes, Valak, we did talk about it. So today's been a slow day for Superman news. So the Superman account decided to post a few words of wisdom from the Man of Steel. And just reminder of I think again, the kind of Superman that people want to see, the kind of Superman that James Gunn has promised he will deliver to us this year. The kind of Superman who tells you, hey, you're much stronger than you think you are. Because on some days, we just need to be told that. We just need a few words of encouragement. And he says, trust me. And that leads to one of the most iconic moments in, DC comics and certainly in Superman comics. So, yeah, we can all be, we can all have a Mr. Rogers inside of us, and
yeah.
So when
Mr.
we wake
Rogers
up every day,
is worthy. He definitely can hold up Mjolnir. That's definitely canon now.
That's it. It has to be. But I mean, hey, Superman wakes up every day and he says, "What can I do right now?" And the answer to him is always help. And so that's what he does. I mean,
And that's
I
what
wake up
everyone
every
should do.
morning and I try to not only have a good day for myself, but also hopefully make someone else's day a little bit better. So yeah, and then I don't know how real this is, how realistic it is, but he's like, "We just sorry," and then he just tells them, "How about you take the ski masks off, lose the guns, walk away, and be better people." Oh, we're wearing hockey pads. But and then he's like, they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna walk away."
I remember one of my favorite ones. Like I think this was from the Rebirth one. I don't remember, but it was a great one where it was like riots were going on in Metropolis, and like Superman just comes like, bam, comes down, and he's like just loudly says, "You all better stop this now," and leaves, and they all stop and go home. Just like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that's canon that he can lift Mjolnir. I know Wonder Woman can.
Yep.
But yeah, Mr. Rogers can. Keanu Reeves can definitely hold Mjolnir. Bob Ross, Steve Irwin, they all could hold Mjolnir. Weird Al. Weird Al is definitely worthy of Mjolnir. 100%.
Yeah, totally.
So
totally.
Don't besmirch Weird Al, sir. I'm just saying. Don't besmirch Weird Al.
I didn't.
You're like, yeah, sure, yeah, but I'm like, no,
What?
Don't besmirch him. Don't besmirch. I'm just saying. I have a machete.
Are you threatening me, John? Okay.
Are you threatening?
Yes, one of the. I think, Caleb, you're referring to. Is it this one, this panel, or this panel? Like one of the best. And thank you.
He was referring to like, you're stronger than you think you are. That's what he's referring to. That famous one.
That one, yeah. Yep. It is one of the iconic moments.
Chuck Norris is a
get it in the Superman
homophobic
movie.
sack of shit. He can't hold fucking Mjolnir. Fucking loser. No, get that fucking Chuck Norris shit out of here. Yeah, Jeff Snyder can't lift Mjolnir. Bro can't lift a pencil. Fuck that guy.
The highest compliment a musician can get is getting a song parodied by Weird Al. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true.
That's what
That
Kurt
is
Cobain
very
said.
true. That is.
He's
yes,
like, I knew
absolutely.
we made it as a band. Weird Al parodied us.
Yep.
Even
Terrence
Coolio couldn't hate Weird
Hutchins
Al
agrees.
forever. Like, that's just how goated he is. Bro is like, literally, like next year he's gonna be like relevant for 50 years. It started in 1976, so next year he would be 50 years of doing his fucking silly old parodies and still relevant to this day. Gotta love Weird Al.
Yep. Caleb is continuing to say he can lift the hammer.
You can't lift shit, Caleb.
I think I walked into something there that I shouldn't have. That probably had a double meaning. So I'm gonna let that one go. But hey, you know what? Some iconic moments from Superman comics. This one I couldn't quite trace, Sean. Do you know which story this one is from?
I don't know. I've never seen this before.
Like, who's this character that he's holding
looks like
in his
Screwball
arms?
from Marvel. But I know it's not because it's DC. But
Somebody let us know in the chat if you guys know which panel from the comics this might be. But again, you know, Superman is the symbol of hope, and that's what he's here for. And hopefully, you'll get a lot more of that when we get the new movie coming out in July of this year. You know, the Super Jurassic Smurfs 4000. I don't know, like it's a month full of great movies. Speaking of movies, John, now let's get into our final topic for the day. The main event, as it were, John. We have to talk about The Authority. DC Studios, according to a rumor, is now reworking, quote unquote, The Authority movie that was first announced at the start of 2023, of course, with the rest of the DCU slate for Chapter 1, Part 1, Gods and Monsters. So this now comes to us as a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. Do you believe this rumor? It's coming from My Time to Shine. Again, one of those scoopers. What are your thoughts on this? Because so far we haven't really heard much about this movie. So, like, I mean, where does it even stand? We don't even know if they're
like they're talking about Ken Watanabe being a contender for the villain. Like, come on, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is all just dog shit. Speaking of Jake and Crypto and Astro and Huckleberry Hound, it's dog shit. That's what it is. Get the fuck out of here. Hawk. Anyway, yeah, I think yeah, bullshit. All bullshit. Oh, it's like, oh, it's going to be an animated movie. Oh, it's going to be like literally we have nothing attached to this movie. We don't know anything about this movie. We don't know who's writing it, if anybody's writing it. We don't know who's directing it, if anybody's directing it as of right now. We don't know the cast. We don't even know the lineup. We don't know the story. We don't know anything. So they're just pushing this bullshit. So it's like, oh, hey, this stuff is still happening because we know. I mean, Superman, we're getting that this year. We're getting Supergirl next year. We have a name. We have names attached to Brave and the Bold and Swamp Thing, but we have nothing with the Authority. We have no names. We have no actors. We have nothing.
No writers, no directors.
Nothing.
We haven't heard anything. I mean, for all we know, that project that James Gunn is pre-writing could be the Authority movie, right?
Maybe,
because
but
that's one project which would be right in his wheelhouse. And we were like, if he wanted to direct another DC movie, do the Authority. But given that he's probably going to want to do the second Superman movie, because I bet you there's going to be a second Superman movie. Yeah, I mean, he can't be tied up in doing that and the Authority, because the Authority is such a big film. It's also going to be probably the most mainstream introduction of, you know, a gay couple in a superhero movie that we will have seen, right? Like, because we haven't really even seen that in the X-Men so far. I mean, I think they're hoping to do that in the MCU, but so as far as representation go for the LGBTQ community, we're gonna get more of that of the Authority than we have ever gotten from any superhero franchise. It's at a time where Disney is, you know, still kind of on the rocks about how much do they want to lean into it. The fact that we have an Authority movie on the horizon, I think, speaks really highly to the fact that DC wants to have that inclusion from day one. So that to me is a, you know, just a great idea to begin with. But also, like you said, John, we haven't heard any concrete news on this movie since its announcement. And James Gunn never announced a director. He never attached any writers to it. He hasn't touched this project like publicly at all. He hasn't even answered any questions about it. The only thing we know is we have Maria Gabriela de Fria playing the engineer, who is a part of the Authority in the comics. So maybe that character moves across. Beyond that, we have no idea what else is attached to this movie. So from you guys in the comments, a lot of people say that My Time to Shine is actually Grace Randolph. I don't know. Is that true, John?
I'm looking it up right now. I don't think so. I think it's.
Wait a second. Am I forgetting something? Oh, wait. Hold on. No, you're right. TC24. There was, but I'm saying like isn't like two super powered characters that are in a relationship. So you are right though, TC24. There was, what was it? Brian Tyree Henry. Well, and you know him. They showed him and his husband and their was it daughter or their son in the movie. So like that was definitely in Eternal. So I do apologize. Yes, we have seen that, but not. I'm saying like it would be more featured in here because like, you know, is it Midnighter and what's the other character?
Midnighter and Apollo. The two characters on the right, the guy in white and the guy in black. Yep.
Yes. Yep. Son. And James, you're saying yes, it was the son. In that, and they actually reference Superman in that scene, right? So, and apparently in the world of Marvel, DC Comics exists. I'm sure the same is true the other way around. TC24 is like, I was just trolling because on the press tour they made that relationship seem so groundbreaking.
Yeah, and they're like, we're gonna have the first sex scene. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and it's just like it's all
that movie was
and boring.
The most unemotionally affecting movie from Marvel I've ever seen.
Yeah, like I think two of my friends were like, "Yeah, I fell asleep during that shit."
It was like a soap opera that didn't get you excited about anything. I don't know.
Yeah, if I want to watch soap opera superhero shit, I just watch the CW DC shows again.
Yeah,
and even those weren't that good.
I mean, John, you remember when James Gunn made that big announcement with the slate? He did say there's some stuff we cannot announce because it would be spoilery, essentially. So, do you think that they're waiting to announce more details about the Authority movie?
Yeah,
until after
I'm
Superman
willing
comes
to bet
out.
that as well. Because, like, I mean, the only thing we have is the engineer. Okay, that's the one thing we have in regards to the Authority is like the engineer is connected to this. So that's the only thing we're getting, and maybe that means something. Maybe like, you know, the engineer starts stuff like we don't know. So, and that might, or she doesn't, and like she dies, and like they're gonna have a new engineer or something. I don't know, but whatever the plan is, I think that might be spoilery for Superman. So
Especially because if like the fate of the engineer is intrinsically tied to the Authority movie, depending on what happens with the character in that movie, we might know more. I'm willing to bet that one of the possible options we haven't considered for who that masked character in Superman is, he could be potentially an Apollo from the Authority. Maybe it would be a very different way of going about it, but I'm just saying, like, how do you tie more of the Authority into Superman? You could go about it, and one of the ways would be that a character from the Authority lineup is the masked, not vigilante. I don't know. I guess like the big gun that they bring to the fight against Superman.
Yeah.
It could be. And like Valak's saying, yes, the Authority could be James Gunn's next project. Regardless of whether it is or not.
I mean, I hope it isn't. I hope he gets someone else to do it, because it's just like he's
too
done
big of a project.
Like literally all 4 of his other superhero movies are ensemble films. This Superman's the first one where it isn't, and first major one that it isn't. And I feel like, yes, you could do something James Gunn-esque with this, but I'd prefer them to do like something more hard-edged with the Authority, like something like something like over the top, like in the 80s, like 80s excess, like I was explaining this, like that's what I think they should go with, something like that, or like Watchmen.
Give it to Zack Snyder, as Jose
no, or like fucking like Michael Bay, like something like that, like
Michael Bay. Oh, dude, I would love some Bayhem in the DCU. Let's get it.
Like something like that over the top, like ridiculousness. I think that could work, but not in like a James Gunn comedy kind of way, but in a hard edge, like a hard R, like 80s, like action movie, like RoboCop or Terminator, like Terminator 2, like something like that.
Rated R.
It's really, and it's not like hard R,
yes.
because like, oh, look at all the blood, look at all this, but and I'm not talking about that. And I don't mind that. Like the Suicide Squad's a good movie and all that stuff, and the Guardians are great movies. But what I would prefer, I would like to do something like that's reminiscent of like the hard edge, like Cobra, Tango and Cash, like any like Commando, shit like that. That's what I want the Authority to be. I think if you do something like that, it could be different and really interesting and unique.
Yep.
Exactly. I agree with James.
Yep. I mean, and look, Zack Snyder is back working with Warner Brothers. He is working on that 300 TV series. So potentially, like that could lead to, bigger moves, but it would really depend on how much autonomy he has. I would appreciate James Gunn writing another movie for Zack Snyder to direct. The last time that happened, it was, Dawn of the Dead, right? All the way back in the day. So back when they were only just starting out in Hollywood. So a reunion of sorts, but at the same time, it could be a good fit. I think the subject matter would fit well. He's done Watchmen, so I think Zack Snyder would be a good pick for this particular movie. But like you said, he could, he doesn't have to be only one. You can go in many different directions.
Right.
Even if James Gunn decides to direct it himself, I think he would be a good pick. So we'll see when that happens, John. But before we finish up for the night, we do have to talk about some of your questions, folks, because we had to do another little Q&A session. John picked out a couple of your comments from our recent videos and episodes.
I don't know if they're like questions or, anything like that. I tried my best. Y'all didn't leave many comments for me. So
yeah.
Well,
let's get into them.
Yeah. But the first one we have was from a couple days ago. This was pinned on the channel, but I'm like, you know what? We haven't seen this name before, I don't think, so it's nice to see. But new fans being like new to this, but love the discussion. This was, I think, from when. I don't know if it was the Green Arrow episode or like the one before or after that, but yeah, it was really cool. It was nice of you to like, I don't know if you're watching now, but we appreciated your comment. That could be good. I think he deserves some redemption even though everyone hated Iron Man 3 for no fucking reason.
It's not as bad as I used to think it was. So I have grown my appreciation for it over time.
Right. But Noise and Kisses, thank you for your comment, and we appreciate you that you're new to the channel. Hope you subscribe and like and comment. Comment more. But yeah, I just wanted to, I was really hankering for comments, guys. But thank you for the comment anyway. And then O'Shea Goodman 9393. He's appeared a couple times in the live show. I don't think he's here now, but he mentioned the Superman teaser still got number one spot for me over the Fantastic Four teaser trailer. I am excited we are getting Galactus finally done right. Very curious to see how this will lead to Doomsday. I'm curious too, as I said before, I think he's going to be getting a cameo, maybe an extremely small role, maybe a post-credit scene. That's it. I don't think we're going to be getting a lot, not even like the rumored 15 to 20 minutes that they were talking about before, because I think that's a little bit much. But yeah, I think we're going to get a little bit of that, a little bit of Doctor Doom, a little bit of like that, like how that's going to continue into Doomsday, but not too much, not too much. But it is going to be the last one. Doomsday's coming out in 2026, right? That's when it's coming out.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. April
So
2026.
so yeah, so Fantastic Four is going to be the last thing before we get the next Avengers movie. So I'm sure it's going to be something big. So, but it's not going to be like a huge like a plot point, you know?
Yeah.
Chocolate Zeus? What?
Yeah, I think Zack Snyder probably wants to be involved with the writing aspect, which I don't think he needs to be, but like it depends, I guess. If he really wants to, then he would, you know.
Hosea saying, do you think it seems desperate to show Galactus in a teaser trailer? I've heard that criticism would say, I mean, they already confirmed. If they didn't reveal who the villain was and then did the tease, I'd say that's a bullshit thing to do. But we already knew that Galactus and the Silver Surfer were going to be the main villains of the movie. So the fact that they revealed them for like 2 seconds, I don't think that's too bad.
Oh, so. No. I think they're referencing O'Shea as in O'Shea Goodman. Like we've seen O'Shea all the time. O'Shea is always leaving us comments. I mean, he's probably watching this right now, leaving us comments after we've been live. We love O'Shea Goodman on the channel.
Yeah.
They're referencing O'Shea in the chat. That's what they're talking
about.
No,
I know. Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. The whole Galactus being a desperation move, I don't think so. Because
I don't think that's the case.
Like you said, John, they revealed that all the way back at Comic-Con. Like we knew Galactus was going to be the villain. So if it was a surprise, like, you know, they gave away the reveal of Doomsday and Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice for that trailer, that was a little desperate. Telling us that Superman, was back and alive in the Justice League trailers was a little desperate because they knew that they needed some positive publicity. I think the fact that they're constantly, releasing new clips for Captain America, Brave New World, and then giving us like 4 or 5 different trailers, that seems a little desperate. Whereas you can clearly see with a movie like Superman, with what they did with the Batman, we got like 2-3 trailers and that was it, because they knew what they had and they knew the hype and excitement behind it. We know with this just the one Superman teaser that they've managed to literally, create so much hype around it that it's just insane. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited, and I think that Superman, we're probably gonna get maybe 1 or 2 more trailers. And with Fantastic Four, it's not really desperate to show you Galactus, especially because they only showed you the back of his head. We're probably going to get more of him in future trailers, but they're not going to give you everything. Marvel has a tendency to give you only stuff from the first, 1 or 2/3 of the movie, maybe like the first act, maybe a little bit of the second act. They certainly rarely ever give away the third act of the film. So even if you do get more Galactus, we're not going to really know what he's going to be doing in the film or what the plot is going to really hinge on, other than just a general description. Like, they're not going to give you any of the twists and turns. So I don't think it's a spoiler. I don't think it's desperate. Unless we get like 5 trailers by the time the movie comes out, it's fine. This is just standard marketing. They want the general audience to know who's in the movie. And the general audience is not like going to Comic-Con and watching a show like ours all the time. I mean, we are more what you would call super fans. We follow this.
As Jalen Harris greeted us, nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
But Hosea did ask, what's your favorite animated Superman movie? Superman/Batman Apocalypse is mine. Mine is Superman versus the Elite. That's like the best Superman movie, period. I don't like the animation style that much, but the subject matter is great. So like, I like that. That showcases why Superman is still needed in this day and age. So
I don't know if I have a pick, like one pick in mind, but Justice League War was pretty good. And I mean, it's
That's not a
like
Superman animated movie, though.
I know, but like that's the one that.
And it's
comes
not
to
even
my
a
mind.
good Justice League movie. What the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here.
I had fun with it. Okay, I probably need to watch a few more animated. I don't watch a lot.
Watch
of
Gods and
animated DC
Monsters.
movies.
That's like the best Justice League movie. That and Justice League: A New Frontier.
I will watch it. There's, I mean, I think all of them are now on Max, so you can check them out for the most part. So, yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for sticking by and being here for the show today. Another long one. We somehow went another couple of hours, but you know, we enjoy the conversation. It was fun. John brought out the machete. Please make sure you do not cut yourself with that thing.
I'll be okay.
You'll get all kinds of infections. But if you guys haven't already, as you know, the comments are telling you, hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, we are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, doing DCU Daily. We, of course, also... what was that you just put up there?
Just like hello, new people,
peeps. Yes, Hosea, thank you for telling everybody to hit that like
and
button.
Get your finger out of your nose and hit the like button.
How did you know?
We have a lot of Hosea. We have a lot of comments on standby from you, so thank you. Keep them coming. We love your comments.
But hey, you know what? You guys were asking about Liz earlier. Check out our podcast, Try Not to Curse, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find your podcast.
Rod changing his mind. Superman versus the Elite. He's like, yeah, boy, let's go.
Terrence saying, I'm always here watching. I mean, the watcher is always watching. So,
Jose asking a question. Will you consider a viewer call-in show?
You know what? I have thought about it. The way to do
add that to the pantheon of ideas that'll never come to fruition. Just like that Discord server that Temple wanted us to do. But then when we didn't do it, he fucked off and then never came back.
I mean, it's Mochi. You're late for the second night in a row. I'm sorry, man. We're trying to be on a schedule with you, but we will be back tomorrow, Mochi. So be sure to be kind and rewind. Tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Yeah, it is already Friday.
It's tomorrow.
On the East Coast. But hey, as we like to say, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. And as I was saying earlier, you can find John on the Cool Kids Movie Reviews YouTube channel, as well as the Geek Informant. And interestingly enough, yesterday, Liz, John, and I, and Fiona as well, and even Zelda, we were all on a new episode of the Try Not to Curse podcast, which will hopefully be coming out soon. So look out for that episode. So if you haven't already subscribed to that, do that there. And then check out John on his 2 YouTube channels as always. And come back to us tomorrow. We will have another episode of DCU Daily. We're going to finish the week out with more news. If there's a fan casting, maybe we'll get into. If you guys have any ideas, let us know down in the comments below. And as Ron likes to say, fight for justice. And as Mochi is saying, I'll be here, man. And Ron, yes, we will fight for justice, not for injustice. Justice for Wick and justice for Batman, as it says right there. Remember to always fight for justice. And Superman is on the way this year. You know, he's going to be fighting for justice. And with that, I think we're going to call it a night. We'll be back tomorrow. More news from the world of Hollywood, DC, Marvel, and all of that. We're going to get into it, of course. But the biggest thing is DCU Daily. So be sure to come back here. If you have any ideas for a fan casting, drop them in the comments below, John. And the peeps, we're going to see you tomorrow on another episode of DCU Daily.